Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. Right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
La la.
But you drop something.
Can you sing it already or no? La 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 la. Merhayastanum.
Oh, we're on. Sorry, Armenians.
Wake
up, everybody!
Hey, bomb
Honor.
you.
Not I'm singing.
Tom went there already. I love it.
That's not funny, Tom. Okay, because this was Armenian.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know what that has to do with Armenians. Okay. Focus on Tom's face turning red real quick, please. Lavosh.
Hey, I'd like to apologize for the Armenians for confusing you.
All right, here we go. Guys, this is what we deal with every day. But if you think this is with the camera on, imagine how bad it is with the camera off. We have like 6 HR people sitting here right now. Every single time we do these podcasts.
Apparently they do
everybody.
nothing, though. They just sit.
Yeah. Okay, so Trump promises largest tax refund season ever for Americans coming in 2026. Trump warns U.S. may launch land operations inside Venezuela very soon, says regime sent killers to America. We got a bunch of clips with the pipe bomber. Vinny's got a video he wants to show me that I haven't seen yet. Apparently this white man, according to Jake Tapper, that I got to see what this white man looks like.
It's you have to emphasize the what. He's white.
He's white.
White boy, MAGA, white supremacist.
Yeah. Scott Bessent blasts New York Times at their event. Halle Berry. It wasn't Newsom also speaking at the same event?
Newsom was there. Mr. Beast
Halle
was there.
Berry goes after Newsom, her governor, and she says, but at least he's not going to be governor for too long, and he will definitely not be a president with the way he's going with women and menopause. And you got to see this clip. It's fascinating.
She had a good point about a good program, too.
Yeah. Paranoid Maduro sleeps in different beds, changes phones, report.
Wouldn't you?
I mean, are they talking like he's sleeping around, or are you saying that he's like for safety?
Yeah, or
not like he's
going.
It
could be both.
It could be both. You never know.
No. I mean, listen. When you hear stories
He's a playboy on the run.
Bessent says Trump administration will be able to replace tariff even if it loses Supreme Court decision. I want to hear about that. President Trump issues a new warning on looming Supreme Court decision. If they keep talking about it, that means they're not for sure certain that this is going to get done.
Bingo.
That's scary, guys.
They just got one decision yesterday. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be Tuesday.
Americans want U.S. to lead globally, but doubt military can win major wars overseas, survey finds. Texas Muslim city rebrands with unthreatening new name. Steve Hilton, California governor candidate, launches tip line to expose fraud over $1 billion Minnesota debacle. I will see. I mean, wait till you create that tip line for California, what that's going to look like.
We called it.
Yeah. Police arrest suspect in D.C. pipe bomb. We'll talk about that. Josh Shapiro, blasts Kamala Harris. Book claims about her utter bullshit in fiery interview response. I mean, hold it together, Josh. You may run for office one day.
Is he running against her next time?
Barack Obama suggests military resistance pushing back on politicization of the Justice Department. Here we go again. Ben Stiller is back, folks, and he says, stop calling them garbage. He was so upset on what happened, and we'll definitely talk about that. GOP Representative Luna files discharge petition to force a vote to ban members of Congress from stock trading. Who's the other lady, the one that you like a lot, who was on Piers Morgan and about Muslims? They
Valentina
went back and forth.
Gomez?
She was
my
like,
God. She
has
was on
no,
fire.
her filter was.
She doesn't give a
No.
She has no filter.
She's your type, though. That's your type.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to hook
dangerous.
you up?
But wait, realize if you're with a girl like that, your security has to have their security to watch them.
Oh, if anybody mess with you, you would say, hey, I'm gonna tell you you're messing with me.
Yeah. She's going to go nuts.
Yeah, you go through. Mamdani effect. Wealthy New Yorkers show renewed interest in Miami's billionaire beach.
Renewed interest?
Yeah, renewed interest. How Palantir shifted course to play key role in ICE deportation. And then home prices fall in almost a quarter of U.S. cities in 2026 in worrying new forecast. Daily Mail report will show that to you. Florida City heating up with global demand. And then Turning Point breaks silence on Candace Owens' wild Charlie Kirk assassination claims, Daily Mail. CNN bets on wager platform Kalshi striking exclusive partnership to inject odds making into coverage. And then we got a couple stories in the middle of the night that broke. Nick Fuentes had some things to say about Candace. Is that the one? Yeah, calls at Candace Owens Times of India. All right. And then literally run out of bounds, down 15. Ilhan Omar calls Trump supporter might attack Somalis. So Somalis should be worried about MAGA, apparently.
Okay.
And brushes off the fraud scandal. What happened with the $1 billion? Not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
$1 billion.
Yeah, it's just $1 billion. And then what we know about Brian Cole, DOJ releases photo of alleged DC pipe bomb. And we got a couple other stories here that we'll get into. I didn't cover what happened on Ritz on Wednesday, so I will today. And aside from that, we have to also talk about what happened when Eddie, the guy who called us about trying to put a podcast together with Sam Shimon.
Yeah.
And then this guy named Uthman jumps on the call, and then we see a video, and we call Eddie. We're like, what was this? So we have to address that as well.
We have to talk about that.
That manipulation is what I told Eddie is I don't like to deal with. We have to address it because there was a clip saying that we said something. We'll show the clip as well so you guys can you send that clip to Rob so Rob can get that as well?
Fake news Middle East
It's
version.
really bad.
Yeah, audio is horrible and the music is so loud. Whoever edited that maybe did it on purpose. Anyways, guys, let me tell you what we're doing here today. It's a special day today. Here's why. Yesterday, we gave away almost 500 trees, Christmas trees. I was outside till God knows. We started at 3 o'clock till about 8, 9 o'clock. We're giving away trees. Rob, you can play this clip here. It was awesome. We even had a Santa Claus that we're trying to figure out whether he was drinking a little bit too much or what he was up to. He was a bad Santa.
And a charming elf.
But it was a great experience. People coming up, taking pictures, talking. Our kids were there. Families showed up. We were having great conversations with the folks that came out. It was the most trees we've given now that we're doing this every year. It's been an incredible tradition. Next year is going to be even sicker and crazy. And I was there with one of my helpers. The guy on the left kind of looks like Vinny.
Do you know what somebody said to me?
What?
Some guy hugs me and goes, "Man, I didn't know that you were that short." And I was like, that wasn't a good moment. Because I'm not wearing any shoes. Because you realize I'm wearing elf shoes.
He
so
didn't
they're
say
just
that.
Yeah, he did.
Did you smack him
Yeah,
up?
I was like, yo,
Well, but let me tell you.
can't hit the mayor of Wilson Manor.
As bad as that is, let me tell you what Kamala said about Christmas. Rob, if you want to play this.
She
do
loves
you have
it?
that?
She has to be pro-Christmas.
Here's what she said about Christmas. If you want to go back a little bit. I just want you to see this, folks. I don't know about you. For me, Christmas, the best time of the year. Okay? The best time. 10% of me still wants to believe that Santa Claus is real, even though I'm 47 years old. There's nothing like it. So whenever I hear politicians get up and talk like this about Christmas, it does something to me. Tell me how you feel about this. Go ahead, Rob.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Oh, no.
How dare we?
Oh, my
She's
God.
so angry.
Do you have the other clip I gave you, Rob?
How's she talking about?
Do you have the
She's
one that I
probably the
gave you?
border.
No,
I
listen,
don't know
there's
what she's
another one that I like how the president responds to this about Christmas because what do you mean, how dare we say Merry Christmas? By the way, how many guys go in the comment section and just say Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Right?
Happy
Go say
holidays.
Merry Christmas and talking about you can't say Merry Christmas. What's wrong with you to say something like that? But I like how the president responded to it. Here's how he responded to it when she said, how dare we say Merry Christmas? Go ahead, Rob.
Dare we speak Merry Christmas?
The music
How
attitude.
dare we?
So
Watch
serious.
this.
Well, guess what? We're saying Merry Christmas again.
You can
It's
pause it
almost
right
as good
here.
as the other video that went
It's
viral.
the best,
When she's
man.
like,
Listen.
I'm at the border.
So-
Don't come.
So here's what we're doing.
Don't-
Stop.
I'm not gonna
Don't do
it.
that. Why are you doing that at this time? We're talking Christmas. You're telling a joke like that. That's
It's not a
inappropriate.
joke. That's just what there was an actual video.
I
that he
understand.
did.
What does that have to do with this right
He said,
now?
"Don't come across the border."
And then he said what?
I don't know what he said. That's the.
You think this is the right time to put something like this in?
I didn't. He said it, not me.
I understand that. What does that have to do? We're talking about Christmas right now, guy.
Okay, go ahead.
You're so funny. Like, these are two complete separate conversations.
Okay.
This guy is so funny, Adam. This is why sometimes with Adam, we got to zip him to say the comments that he makes at the wrong time.
We're trying our best.
You are so funny, Adam. Anyways, let me get back to Christmas, folks, that we're talking about here. So here's what we're doing. Every year at this time, intentionally we do this. Intentionally. Because we're proud to say Merry Christmas. We want to say it forever, okay? There's something special about what happens during Christmas. Families, the values, the principles, the stories, The moments that we have together, it's a very, very special moment that we have together. For us, I look forward to what we do together. So, this year, for Merry Christmas, the hat we announced last year sold 3,000 like this within a couple days. This year, we're doing a limited edition one for today, Rob, if you want to show this. Up there, this is the limited edition Merry Christmas hat, numbered out of 250. On the side, it says Future Looks Bright. These will go in no time, by the way. If you're somebody that's proud to say Merry Christmas comfortably, place an order. Get this for somebody that's also proud to say Merry Christmas. This could make for a very, very good Christmas gift. And anybody that places an order, I believe this is for the first 100, if I'm not mistaken, Rob. Anybody that places an order gets a mug that says Future Looks Bright and Merry Christmas. And on this side, you get an ornament as well that says Merry Christmas. The Future Looks Bright edition sent your way. So go to vtmerch.com, place an order, Merry Christmas hat coming your way. All right. Having said that, let's get right into it. Rob, what was our first story? Our first story that we have that the audience wants to talk about. Do you want to go to the pipe bomber? What do you want to go to?
Pipe bomber would be
all right. So let's go to the pipe bomber. Rob, what page is that story on?
That
Tell me the story we're on the pipe bomber one.
That is page 10.
Page 10. Okay, here we go. Page 10, police arrest suspect in D.C., pipe bomb case after 5-year investigation that they've been talking about. So remember when this happened, the timing of it, right? So people have forgotten about it. You know, some haven't forgotten about it. Some have. Some have kind of moved on because we've had so many different stories that we have going on here. A suspect who allegedly planted pipe bomb blocks from U.S. Capitol on January 5th, 2021 is now federal custody after a nearly 5-year investigation. Law enforcement sources told Fox News Digital on Thursday video footage released by the FBI showed an unidentified person placing the pipe bombs near two headquarters more than 16 hours before law enforcement found them. The suspect was seen wearing a gray hoodie, Nike Air Max Speed Turf sneakers, a mask, glasses, and gloves, but the person's identity had long been unknown. And the initial investigation had shown in under 2 months, by the end of February 2020, a possible result of credible leads drying up at the time. According to a congressional report, authorities discovered the two pipe bombs near the Republican and Democrat National Committee headquarters around the same time that thousands of protesters a few blocks away began to descend on the Capitol over 2020 elections. The bombs were described as visible and could have exploded at any time, according to the FBI. The suspect arrest comes after a renewed push by the FBI to solve the case, including the release of new video footage and a $500,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible. Go ahead, Rob.
This was the work of multiple agencies working together. This morning's operation was carried out safely and successfully. We know that there are so many issues when you're issuing search warrants. Dangerous things can happen, and this was carried out safely and securely thanks to all of the people standing around me. They have worked tirelessly on this. Today's arrest happened because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. The total lack of movement on this case in our nation's capital undermined the public trust of our enforcement agencies. This cold case languished for 4 years until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came to the FBI. The FBI, along with U.S. Attorney Piero and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness.
So they've known this entire time.
Diligent
of course they
police
did.
work
And they didn't want to report it.
Of course not.
So what clip do you want to show me with the white man?
Okay, so guys, we talked about this yesterday, Pat, with our friend that was here yesterday. Guys, the entire movement of why I think America started waking up is the moment that Jim Acosta was talking crap to the president in 2016, and he said, I'm not going to give you any questions. You're fake news. And that moment, you'd think CNN would realize, after all the firing, Pat, after losing all the money, Jake Tapper, another guy who acted like he didn't know about Biden's mental decline, writes the book blaming everybody. You can't make this up. I had to check this 5 times to make sure it wasn't AI. Look at him describing the guy, Brian Cole Jr., as what? Go ahead, Rob. This is a joke.
Welcome to the lead. I'm Jake Tapper.
This is when?
After nearly
Yesterday.
5 years of investigation, the FBI finally announced that they had arrested a suspect accused of planting pipe bombs near the Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters the night before the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in
No, it's not.
That's the white guy right there?
and
This
with
is not
malicious
AI
destruction
edited.
by means of
Stop.
explosions.
White
seen in
guy.
a
That's the
film.
white guy right
Go
there?
back again, Rob. Go back again, like when he says that. Go back a little bit. No, 5 seconds right there. Go ahead.
Attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosions seen and observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home.
Rob. Now, let me just give you a little backstory about this. And again, they're saying it is who he is. I don't know how tall this guy is, the Brian Cole, but the videos, Pat, if you see it, it's a 5'7". That's why it looked kind of weird. But now, I don't know how tall this guy is. What we're going to find out. But his dad owns Statewide Bonding, Inc., Virginia-based immigration bail bond company. Think about this. The family built business, they were built on freeing illegal immigrants from ICE custody, and that same business sued the prior administration's DHS in 2019 over discrimination, okay? And think about this. This makes sense if this is him, why they held it for 4 years. He's a young black guy who was anti-Trump, all right? He sued Trump. He sued ICE. He sued the DHS. He pushed radical justice causes and worked at the family bond place. And think about it. They didn't lose him, Tom. They had receipts. They had his license plate number. They had phone data. They had the footage. They knew exactly who he was. They could have exposed him. But the narrative was, let's put something to distract all law enforcement. Because, Pat, because of this, all law enforcement was diverted from January 6th, and they were worrying about this guy. They were worrying about this white supremacist, white guy from the suburbs, as Jake Tapper says it, and it was all on purpose, okay? And I genuinely, this is my opinion, Christopher Wray, who was in charge of the FBI, Tommy, needs to be investigated, just like Jim Comey.
Agree.
All right? He had 13% of the FBI going after January 6th cases. That's 5,000 out of 38,000 people hunting grandmothers, grandfathers, people that weren't even in Washington that day. That's
including getting over petabytes of information where they help identify people who are wearing winter gear and covered up by the way they walked and their anticipated height. So they took that action of people that were on the thing, but they had all sorts of street footage, and they couldn't find this guy for 5 years.
Yeah, so, for 5 years, and then
I just want to make sure I understood.
No, you get it. And then it's weird that they come in and they find him like that. It's the narrative. January 6th was a setup from the beginning. And if you think about it, the pipe bombs didn't go off because then they know they'd be in a world of crap. But look at how this FBI, and I want people to understand, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, all these people, good job. They're doing something. We have criticized them in the past. But think about all the agents, Tom, that are still in the FBI that still have that hate, that still would do the color revolution that we keep talking about. Just because they're in charge doesn't mean anything. Those people are still involved, just like the Lisa Pages, just like the freaking Peter Strzok.
There's like 5 stories here you're covering. First, you have the CNN. By the way, this is CNN's habit, Pat. Remember George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. And George Zimmerman, you know the 2 networks that took the most heat for calling him a white Hispanic? Do you remember that?
Yep.
George Zimmerman, the white Hispanic that gunned down Trayvon Martin. No, they didn't wrestle on the ground. He wasn't trying to get him. He wasn't shot that way. He gunned him down, right? And George Zimmerman was a white Hispanic. And CNN, ladies and gentlemen, CNN, Jake Tapper, and NBC took the most hit for using, which one coined it, uncertain, but they both used it to death, and now they're using this. And by the way, do you know who's responsible for the Ukraine war? A white Russian named Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
No, it's coming, right? Everything's white first. They're showing you what they're going to do. That's one story. Now you have the cover-up. Now you have petabytes of information, but they choose not to look at it until now, and then they finally look at this guy. This is incredible.
And you know why? If you think about it, guys, Trump wasn't supposed to win. Their plan, their entire plan, this wasn't supposed to come to pass. Their plan was jail him, destroy him. That didn't work. Shoot him in the freaking head. Didn't work because they hire people that have shitty aim. And we are where we are. And I mean, and Tom, I get it because I'm impatient. I have to work on my patience. I want it faster. I have the hope. I have the faith. But come on, like the Comey and Tish James, they just got their cases, kind of dismissed, but they're going to keep going back after them. Because I'm telling you,
there was another dismissal yesterday.
yeah, this is huge. This is huge, and it exposes them.
This investigation took 5 years.
No, Adam, listen. Well, for them, for Cash Patel, less than a year. Less than a year to find the guy that they buried the story.
Because you're tracking the story a little bit more than me. Are you saying that under the Biden administration, this guy was just walking around, they did nothing?
Nothing, Adam, nothing.
So,
they knew where he was. My opinion, you can't be that stupid. Adam, you can't be that stupid. But they lost the case on November 10th, 2020. They lost the case. This is humiliation for the FBI.
We'll put the files in Biden's garage. Even he'll forget about it.
Yeah,
but they found the pipe bombs next to the RNC and the DNC. So this guy he was just sowing chaos?
Well,
it wasn't exactly aligned with
But here's the
party,
thing.
huh?
What was his motive? To distract Adam. When you have bombs in Washington, you know how many cops and everybody's distracted looking that way so that the January 6th mayhem can go exactly the way that they want it. And Nancy Pelosi could say, I don't want the National Guard. It's all, guys, and for how many years? It's been 5 years, and it was, oh my God, the biggest threat to democracy. We even had that maniac. Who was the guy? The guy
Steve Schmidt?
Steve Schmidt.
Oh, your boy?
January 6th was worse than 9/11. Shut up. That's the narrative that they wanted to push with the Lincoln Project. This is a joke. It was a joke. They provoked those people, and this is where we are today.
This sort of has sniffs of intel, doesn't it? The pipe bombs are put at 2 locations, number one. Number two, they said those pipe bombs were viable. There was real explosives. It could have been done. And they won't tell us, though, was there a timer in it? Was the timer not set properly? Was this appear to be professionally designed? The FBI, believe it or not, has a database on all the types of bombs that are used because they know which groups circulate documents to each other on the how-tos. There's how-tos out there among these groups. And I was reading last night that says the FBI needs to come out and tell us what was the design of the bombs, what do you suspect was the source, because they can tell you, oh, those are Middle East guys did it that way.
Yeah.
These guys do it that way. All they say, well, no, they were viable bombs, but they didn't go off. Why didn't they go off? In your professional bomb expert opinion.
Yeah,
So, Tom, those are important details. I just want to understand one thing. What was his motive? Why is he doing this? Who was paying him? What was his motivation?
Well, Adam,
what is he looking to do? What team is he on?
That's a great
question.
question.
That to me is the first
hold
question.
on, but if you think about it, if you had to assume, why would he be on the Republican? He's anti-Trump, anti-this, loves Antifa, or whatever the hell, all these facts. This is I'm telling you right now, you got to give them credit. They are so good because it almost worked.
By the way, Rob, what's the story about? If it does work, Kamala Harris was by the DNC. Is that the story? If you want to maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, in fact, she was reportedly at the DNC headquarters the morning of January 6th. Apparently, she was in the vicinity of where, if these explosive devices had gone off, she would have been injured or worse. They actually asked Pam Bondi about that yesterday because you never hear the vice president-elect was almost assassinated in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. You never hear that narrative, but it almost happened. Pam Bondi was asked about that yesterday.
Oh, this is it?
Yep.
Go for it.
So, any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work of President Trump's administration, Deputy Director Bongino and Director Patel. I watched them from day one come in here and say, we are going to solve this crime. And they did, working hand in hand with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our great attorneys.
I hope during the investigation, he actually has the Brian guy to say, who did it? Who told you? Because if you really think about it, the Insurrection Act that they were going to try to use to not let the president run again, this was the main thing that put it over the hump, Pat. Like, you guys had white supremacist pipe bombs. Oh, he can't be the president. And look at how...
If the Biden administration knew about it, Pat, wouldn't they have, invented phrases like... insurrectionists and potential assassins.
Exactly.
Wouldn't they have invented that and tagged that onto it if there was a half a block possibility that Kamala could have been?
What I want to know is, okay, so
that seems odd to me.
So now that they're showing us that we know who this white man was, okay, that did what he did. Okay, so now tell us why he did that. Okay, take it a step ahead and tell us why he did that. To the American people can find out, because if this was sitting there Find out. Have you interviewed him? Is he still around, by the way? Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he?
He's alive.
He's arrested.
Taken into custody.
And Rob, show us how. Let Pat show us how.
Thing.
Patrick, Z-bad too. Not shy. Look at the look. He
lives in a cul-de-sac.
Look, yeah, you live in a cul-de-sac, bro. You're doing
the nicest
well.
house at the end of the street.
You got to find out why he did it, who he's connected to, messages, emails, exchanges. You should be able to find out. You know, even the best criminals out there, you should be able to find out what the motive behind what they were doing. Anyways, I want to get to the next story with this. If you want to give your final thoughts,
just say
we'll
one
go to the
thing.
next story.
Don't look now, but it seems like the Trump administration, all these guys are very much aligned and unified. Epstein thing aside, where Cash Patel and Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino, we're all catching beef. Oh my God, what's going on? Seems like everybody's falling in line right now. That's all I'm saying.
Unified on this topipic?
Just in general.
No,
it seems like they're a little bit more unified.
I don't know.
Than the gaslighting that was going on.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I
They're
don't.
standing there together.
No. Well, that's the cash.
Who is aligned? The Bongino
Trump administration.
Oh, yeah. On this issue, sure. And by the way, to be honest with you, I think Bondi is trying to keep her job. Yeah. Okay, I think that's what she's trying to do. You know, Bondi's trying to keep her job, and she has to have some victories. And there's been a lot of, you know, fumbles and the way things were handled, a lot of mishandling going on there. And they're trying to redo and reframe the reputation and come out and get some stuff out there. And this is a good beginning of what things could take place.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully, if they continue going. Anyways, all right, let's go to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is Scott Bessent at a New York Times event. Himself and Alex Karp from Palantir and Halle Berry. But let's first start off with Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent is being interviewed. And they're talking about a bunch of different things. And then all of a sudden, he blasts New York Times at their own event over the coverage of Trump's health. Go ahead, Rob.
You had what was one of the greatest scandals of all time, that the coverage of the Biden administration, Joe Biden's diminished capacity, and the cover-up.
And that's why it's probably fair to raise these questions.
Where was the New York Times? We just had a 3-hour cabinet meeting yesterday, Andrew. For 10 months, the Biden administration did not have a cabinet meeting. How are you going to invoke the 25th Amendment if the cabinet secretaries never see the president, which they didn't?
10 months.
And by the way, Rob, that's not even the best clip. The clip is when he talks about, I mean, you can find another clip that he calls him out, because there's a couple clips with him and New York Times. He just goes, boom, left, right.
And that's a fact pack. 10 months.
10 months.
They didn't have a
cabinet.
freaking cabinet meeting?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And to the point that even he doesn't have anything to say. Tom, what was your reaction when you first saw this here with Bessent? Is this the one, Rob, that's a longer version of it?
That's a little bit of a shorter one. Hang on.
Okay, you keep looking at it. I think there's one other clip.
This is
there.
134.
Okay, let's just see this one here.
Is this a new normal?
Andrew, there's no new normal. And I can tell you that I actually don't read the New York Times anymore. But sometimes I do watch CNBC. But occasionally people send me articles, and there's just this fever swamp. And you're now a pop historian with 1929.
There you go.
And in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the New York Times is no longer the paper of record. You can't go. I read this article. President Trump is slowing down. President Trump's mental capacity. It is 100% fake. That he only called me twice at 2 a.m. last week instead of 3 times.
You're saying he called you? I believe that he called you at 2 or 3 in the morning.
That whole narrative. You had what was one of the greatest.
So we watched this here. Tom, go ahead.
Well, what I think it just shows how prepared and the leadership
Just a
of
big
Scott
fan of
Bessent.
Scott Bessent.
I am a big fan of Scott Bessent. I love his leadership. I love the policy positions he's taken very much. And what he does here is Deal Book is part of the LA Times, New York Times. I got to get my liberal fish wrap straight. So he does this, and he tries to put these things out there, and he's just leading with his chin, unfortunately. Andrew Ross Sorkin, in the mornings on CNBC, he's kind of the liberal voice that's there, and he gets pushed a lot on there, but he's a knowledgeable guy and everything. And then here he goes trying to put these common things up there in kind of not really a debate format, but in kind of a counter format. And Scott Bessent just says, you're going to throw an 80-mile-an-hour fastball at me. there's a word for 85-mile-an-hour fastballs, souvenirs. Because he's going to hit that, and that's exactly what Scott Bessent did. He hit it, and I very much liked it. And it was a big day for people taking a stand and making statements that were a little embarrassing. This was supposed to be a business conference talking about how politics and, Treasury policy, rates and everything meet business. And he had a lot of people on stage there. And it turned out that, Andrew Ross Sorkin got slapped a couple times.
And by the way, I'm a fan of him.
I like him in the morning.
I think he's good at what he does. And I applaud New York Times for inviting the people that they did. They invited Erica Kirk. They invited Scott Bessent. So good for them for doing that. But you got your ass handed to you by Scott Bessent. And by the way, while this is going on, they invited Halle Berry to a New York Times event. What? Yeah. Halle Berry? And Halle Berry gets up on stage. If I were to tell you right now, Halle Berry is going to get on stage at a New York Times event and call out Newsom, and I told you last week, I want to make a prediction. What would you have been your odds of this happening? Slim to none? Watch what she says. Go ahead, Rob.
But the opposite of that, back in my great state of California, my very own governor, Gavin Newsom, has vetoed our menopause bill, not 1, but 2 years in a row. But that's okay, because he's not going to be governor forever. And with the way he's overlooked women, half the population, by devaluing us in midlife, he probably should not be our next president either. Just saying. I need every woman in this country to fight with me. But the truth is, the fight isn't just for us women. We need men too. We need all of the leaders, every single one of you in this room. This fight needs you.
That's pretty wild for her to speak the way that she does. Adam, your thoughts on Halle Berry?
How old is Halle Berry now, by the way?
She just posted a picture saying celebrating 60th or 50th or something like that. Can you pull with her?
No way, she's 68.
She just had a 59.
Wow.
She still got it, baby.
Oh, she looks great.
Yeah.
Halle still got it. So just so I understand the framing of the situation, this is a New York Times event, and they're inviting people to have open conversation.
Yes.
Sort of unlike what the actual paper
Summit
does.
by the New York Times.
Yeah. How often have you heard Trump go, the failing New York Times, the failing New York Times? The New York Times, let's get this straight, they used to be the gold standard for reporting, for journalism.
Yeah.
They were like, we're the New York Times. How dare you question us? We're the New York Times. At this point, they're like the running joke or leftist gag. Like, oh, the New York Times did it again. The New York Times said this. Okay, buddy. And they still act shocked when you call them out for their misinformation, their mistruths, their disinformation. They're supposed to be the ones who are speaking truth to power, but they're no longer journalists. They're just activists, just parroting the leftist progressive mouthpieces of, you see what's going on in New York. This is the New York Times at this point.
Tom.
So on Halle Berry.
Halle Berry and Newsom. By the way, Rob, Newsom responded. If you want to pull up Newsom, he did not respond, but his team responded and said something like, we are looking forward. There you go. I think you have, was that it or no? Yeah, I remember Halle Berry out of California when women are struggling silently.
That's what she said.
That's what she said, yeah. He responded. His team said, we appreciate Halle Berry's concern and we are willing to work. Yeah, Gavin Newsom responds to this. Zoom in a little bit. Deep admiration for Halle Berry's advocacy and is reconciling this after he received a sharp rebuke from the Oscar-winning actor who warned he probably should not be president during her address. In my great city, go a little bit lower. Is there a sentence on Newsom told? Yet I'd be, is that the one? Yeah,
no, that's from October.
Okay. So anyways, apparently his team responded and said something that, we understand the importance here and, we want to work with her to get what she wants done in the state of California. In some words like that they responded to. Tom, your thoughts on Halle Berry?
You know what? I love that she stood up for this because every now and then you'll find a celebrity with an authentic cause. And what I mean by that is when you reach celebrity status, you will get coached by your publicist. Oh, save the whales, keep the dolphins out of the tuna nets, and all that.
Yeah,
By the way, if dolphins are supposed to be smart, if they're so smart, what are they doing in a tuna net? Anyway, so they go on these kind of fake, you saw it, they would encourage you, publicists encourage you in Hollywood, you're a comedian actor, hey, get behind some kind of a charity.
Cause, yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you. Halle Berry says this has to do with women. And what she's trying to get, I believe that Medicare plans include Cialis or Viagra now. And people were asking, saying, what the hell, is the government really paying for that? And check me on that. I believe Medicare plans cover that. And what Halle Berry is trying to do is saying, hey, let's get insurers to cover drugs that affect hormone drugs, hormone replacement drugs, and osteoporosis drugs, and the things that women need as supplements at menopause. So apparently Halle Berry is with a very legitimate cause as a woman entering middle age and still looking great and representing it and saying, my governor can't get behind this. I'm not out here with Save the Whales. I'm not out here with some weird charity. I'm out here specifically stating these things could help women.
Yep. And by the way, this is Newsom at the airport responding to it. Go ahead, Rob.
TMZ.
Halle Berry had some comments. Do you have any? She had
actually just was connected with her manager. We're have ability to reconcile that, so we're reconciling.
So like,
I've included it in the budget next year. She didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're reconciling.
So how do you? What's your message to women who might have been offended by the bill, or just what do they not understand about the bill that they should
They
understand?
didn't understand. We already were in the process of fixing it, so we're getting it fixed.
So did you have you talked to our manager exactly, or?
Such a.
Governor, any chance 2020?
Okay, if it was already in there, why would Halle Berry say that? If it was already in there, why does she go on stage in New York? We're reconciling.
He's the spin master.
We didn't fix it.
Amazing. And he's not scared to go on camera and say, yeah, this is exactly what happened, and defend his position.
The definition of sociopath is they actually they know it's a lie, but they're so good that they believe it.
He is like water.
But I don't know, did you actually see him on the stage? I think we should take a moment of silence for his actual... His manhood, it was crushed.
For that killer crossover?
Why do Democrats sit like that? Look at how even the other leg is folded, Pat. That can't be comfortable. Yeah, him and Obama, like, how would you not talk like this? That's how I would talk. It hurts.
Maybe he
Hey,
drank.
Gavin, how do you feel about California? I agree. That's how that would.
So he could be like the 6'3" Christmas elf.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Tom, you were going to say something.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say what he's doing there, if you were to connect the dots, and this was Republicans, you know what they would say? If Halle Berry was a Republican and then that was Gavin Newsom there, they would say, Gavin Newsom accused Halle Berry of lying. He said that she didn't even do her research, didn't know it was there. That would be the media coverage. But why would Halle Berry go to New York to stand on a stage at the New York Times Deal Books Summit and say something she knew not to be true if they already had the coverage with it? Why is it a cause? Why would she do that? Why would she, stick her chin out? She wouldn't.
Nope.
Personally, I don't believe Gavin Newsom, and I'd like to see the receipts that say that all the things that Halle Berry is specifically talking about, coverages, drugs, and whatnot, are truthfully, honestly in there. Now, if he's saying we have it in the budget, wait. I thought this part of this was she wanted to compel insurance carriers and other people. We have it in the budget? Wait a minute. How? You see where I'm going? How would I have it in the budget if it was supposed to be a policy that forces health insurers to do something?
How much do you think, Tom, how much do you think this Tish Hyman lady is influencing Halle? What is the likelihood that she has watched all those videos with Tish? You know what I'm talking about,
I think it's
Rob.
very likely.
How likely do you think it is?
I think it's over 90%.
The
Over
black
90%
lesbian lady
because
in
You know
Gold's
what?
Gym?
Halle Berry is an
How's she
Oscar
not seen it?
award-winning actress, and you know what they do when they get into character. Actresses and actors of her caliber, Academy Award winnings, do a lot of research. You know about this. You do deep research to get in with the character, deep research to know what you're going to do, how to present yourself.
Tom, I asked a simple question.
So why wouldn't
What's
she?
the likelihood that she's watched
Excuse me,
Tish
I'll
Hyman?
answer it.
Tell me.
I'll answer it.
Go ahead.
So the likelihood that she has looked at other people and how to present herself, and including Tish Hyman, I think is pretty high.
Just say yes. So it's high likely that she did.
Yes.
That's all you have to say. It's not I don't need an explanation. So if she's watched it, so she's probably inspired by what she's also saying. The level of agitation for women in the state of California is that, hey, we are ourselves, following a story like this to see what's going on here. But I think her level, Tom, stay with us here. You don't need to, just stay with us. So I think the part here with Tish, I think she's playing a role in California. I think she's playing a role in California. Tish is. I think Tish needs to understand that she has what it takes to possibly even influence politically. I think if there is a relationship there for her to get out there and be vocal about what she's talking about. When's the last time Halle Berry was that vocal about Newsom?
I don't
Rob,
think
can
ever.
you even pull up? When is the last time Halle Berry's ever been vocal about Newsom? When's the last time?
Or even politics in general, Pat. Have you ever heard her say?
I just want to know, when is the last time Halle Berry has been vocal about Newsom? When has that ever happened? Prior to yesterday. Okay, Piers have come only in October. Newsom menopause. We're going to show this veto October. Okay, Berry had officially last October event. Got it. Okay, so she's never been vocal about Newsom ever till now.
That's crazy.
Okay, when was Tish Hyman vocal about Newsom?
I mean, recently.
And what we're doing in California.
Within the last month.
So I think Halle is getting her confidence from other women that are questioning things for her to say, this makes sense. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think Tish is playing a role in California, getting others to be thinking.
Think about how bad it is when you lose liberal black women in California, gay black women, you're losing your whole audience. Are you kidding me? You're losing the L, the G, and the B over the T. We're going to have a problem.
Is that wild? Is that wild?
That is pretty wild.
But I'm so happy. How happy are you to see it though? Like it's and what's his name too? Who was the guy that's going to try to take over Nancy Pelosi? The Jewish guy, the guy with the glasses.
Why would you assume I know him?
The weird guy that was taking photos at the parade.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
They act like they're about women. They don't give a damn about women.
I don't know who that guy is. Okay, in the interim, while this is taking place, Rob, do you want to pull up the? I'm trying to see if I go to this one now, or do we wait till the end? Yeah, let's go to this one here. Barack Obama suggests military resistance pushing back on politicization of the Justice Department. Okay, so Barack is back at it again. Rob, go ahead and play this clip. Let's see what he has to say. Go for it.
I would not have expected the legitimacy of an election and the peaceful transfer of power to have been challenged.
Really?
I thought that was not something that would happen today.
Look at his legs.
I would not expect the politicization of the Justice Department or our military.
Wow.
He's really.
And I don't think that's happened. I think there's been resistance, particularly in the military, to that. But the degree to which that has
pause.
been
I can't even listen to this.
encouraged.
5-second pauses. Go ahead, Tom.
Color Revolution playbook. That's what you're saying. The legitimacy of challenging this. This is Color Revolution playbook. And this guy is still, at his core, right out of Saul Alinsky's playbook. That's what I see.
Like, the absolute gall for him to sit there, again, with his legs folded, because he's one of them too. His legs folded, sitting there talking about weaponizing and the Justice Department. His DOJ was already spying on Trump before he's the guy. I truly believe, Tom, he's the guy behind all this. All the questions of who signed the auto pen, who was really in charge? That guy. I think Barack Obama, silently in the back. Remember that video that he did? He's like, I wish I had a little earpiece that I could just, because he even said he wanted to run for a third term. He's the guy. And Tom, I keep hearing, and you're so right, it's a color revolution. They want to delegitimize the actual guy who we all voted for. The popular vote, swing states, you name it, we wanted it, but they're trying to tell us, no, no, no. And what is he talking about, Pat? He's basically talking about the Venezuela bombings, correct? That's what he's talking about. He's talking about orders that are legal, but you're having these people like the Mark Kellys and all these people in unison try to say and delegitimize the orders of the sitting president of the United States as if any of them are in the briefing rooms, any of them in the situation rooms, any of them know what the hell's going on. And the fact that they're trying to push the narrative that it's a fishing boat. Robbie, can you look at what these boats actually look like, Patrick? It's not, they're speeding towards America. What are you coming for? And is it just me, or does Venezuela not have internet? Do none of these narco idiots understand if you're coming on a boat, speeding with drugs, we're going to bomb the shit out of you? Stay away. Like that, yeah, who's fishing on that thing? What are all those barrels in there? What are you, stupid?
It's chum. We're going to throw it in there.
Yeah.
We're chumming for chumming for tuna.
But it drives me crazy, Beth. This guy, Barack Obama, one of the most divisive, drone striking, racist, telling people that if you're black, you gotta vote for Kamala. I think he's the guy. I think he's the ringleader, and I think Hillary is standing right next to him with all the stuff that was going on for the past.
When you
4
say
years.
ringleader, we look at Steele dossier, Russia. You can go down the list. He was either in the room, had knowledge, or called the shot. And multiple points based on a list of people that were at meetings, based on the list of people that were covered, including his chiefs of staff on emails, all those things.
Yeah.
You were there, you called the shot, or you were in the room.
And he has immunity. Do you know who talks like that? A guy that knows that he'll never going to go to jail. He has presidential immunity. Go sit there and get your $250,000 for this speech, probably more, and just lie. Lie.
So, look, I watch a lot of different news outlets, sort of a mixed media diet, and I'm looking for the Democratic Party to be like, this is what they stand for. And as a former liberal, I'm thinking, you never know. You never know. If the right goes too deranged, maybe I'll go back left. And I'm seeing literally nothing come from the left. Nothing where I'm like, good point. Because the entire narrative is we hate Trump. He's the worst. He's a bad man. He's Hitler. Trust us, bro. Trust us, bro. But you're not selling us anything. You're not giving us any hope. What was his whole thing? His whole message was hope and change.
Yeah, change my ass.
They're doing nothing but try to tear down what Trump has built. And for the average person out there, they're like, Trump or Ilhan Omar. Yeah, I'm going to go with Trump on this one, buddy. And that's essentially what the Democratic Party is. As bad as they think Trump is, their approval numbers and their poll numbers are literally lifetime low. Mm-hmm. So that's how bad the Democratic brand is at this point.
You make a good point. If that was W talking about, Clinton, or if that was Trump talking about Obama, what would the news coverage be? Instead, you're so correct. Silence, crickets. Obama says all this stuff, crickets.
What do you think, Pat?
How much relevancy does Obama even have at this point? How much is he moving the needle? He used all his bullets during the election, so to speak.
And there were blanks.
Black men, listen to me. And they're like, yeah, we're good, Barack. We're going to vote for Trump.
This is all around Venezuela, right? Is this what this is all around?
He's talking about the orders that the president is giving to blow up.
So let's go to that. Let's go and talk about that. So new details emerge about the controversial September 2nd strike on alleged drug boat that killed survivors. This is ABC News, Rob. I think you got a clip on this here. If you want to play the clip. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
And tonight, new information. According to a source familiar with the incident, the two survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets. A JAG officer was also giving legal advice. So again, David, that video will be key, and Admiral Bradley will be on the Hill.
Okay, so is this the back and forth on Hexet ordering a lethal attack, but not the killing of the survivors? These two stories are kind of going hand in hand, right, Rob? Do you have that one as well?
Yeah, so that was ABC News. Now CNN reports that the Admiral has said that the two remaining survivors of the September 2nd boat strike, they were not actually trying to radio to other drug smugglers. This is CNN reporting this late last night.
Yeah, with what?
Breaking news, we have new exclusive reporting on the double strike on that alleged drug boat in September. Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, who oversaw the operation, told lawmakers today that the two survivors did not, as some defense officials have been claiming for months behind scenes, radio for backup before a second strike killed them. That's according to two sources with direct knowledge of today's closed-door briefings. Now, joining me is Senator Tammy Duckworth, a member of the Armed Services Committee and a retired U.S. Army pilot. So, Senator, does this change the calculus when determining whether a secondary strike would be necessary? The idea that there was not a radio call?
It doesn't really, Anderson. It tells you that the Defense Department has been lying to everybody since September, but it doesn't change the calculus because, as if these were pilots, if this was war and this was a pilot who'd been shot down, you're sitting in a rubber dinghy in the middle of the ocean, and they radio for help, you're supposed to pick them up. You're supposed to help them. Or even if their forces pick them up, you can't just go in and kill those people just because you think that they might conduct future operations against you. It just violates all sorts of international laws of warfare. It's illegal on so many levels. But it does.
Right there. Okay, Vinny, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, well, first and foremost, just to make it clear, These aren't fishermen coming here to get tuna and all that nonsense. Okay, these are people coming here, Patrick, fentanyl, and some guy yesterday on CNN was like, it's cocaine. It's cocaine, it's fentanyl, it's drugs that are killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. Put that in your minds out there, and this is what they're fighting for. This is it. And those two guys are hanging on the water. They're calling for help, or their boys are going to come get them. Who do you think is going to come get them? Other drug dealers that are going to grab the drugs.
So what's the issue, though? What's the controversy
They're
here?
trying to say, Pat, that Pete Hegseth is ordering a second strike. As you know, as a soldier, as a veteran, and I've watched these videos, Pat, because that's all I would do when I was in the military. When you strike and you see those like AC-110 Warthog, and you hit them and they're wounded and they're staying there, you hear, hit them again. You got to get rid of the freaking threat, because if you keep them alive, they get another boat and they keep bringing the drugs to the country. I approve to this 1,000%. He has a mandate, Pat. This is the Department of War, okay? Enough is enough. We can't let anybody here. And if you think about it, every mandate that Trump has, every mandate, the border, they want to open the border as best they can. Deporting people, they have a problem with that. The terrorists that we're going to get to, $83 billion a month, they want to stop that. He's killing people that are coming here that are going to eventually, with their poison, kill Americans. And this is just something, Pat, that the media and the left, this is the tactic. They have to do something. And it's not going to work because it's not illegal. It's not illegal. Ask the hundreds of thousands of mothers and fathers who've had to bury their kids. Two of my friends, Rico and Fu from California, they're at a party and they did a little bit of drugs and they both died. Two of my friends, because this cocaine had fentanyl in it. They didn't overdose. They were poisoned. So enough of this nonsense. Enough. This is just another talking point that she had to come out and admit. And now anything, Pat, every day it's something different. Where they were floating, where they weren't waving. I don't give a shit. If you're coming here to kill Americans, you're going to die. Those Venezuelans, get an email. Look at the internet, get X, and know that we will bomb your ass if you come here. Period.
Play this clip first. Go ahead, Rob. So this is Hegseth saying that he did watch a 9-2 boat strike, but says he didn't stay around for the entirely, and then says it was Admiral Bradley that made the call, right, to sink the boats.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Good. Watch that first strike live. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do.
Bingo.
And by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision.
Bingo.
To ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. He sunk the boat, and eliminated the threat. And it was the right call. We have his back, and the American people are safer because narco-terrorists know you can't bring drugs through the water and eventually on land if necessary to the American people. We will eliminate that threat, and we're proud to do it. So you didn't
Pat, plain and simple. Plain and simple. I got up. I have other stuff to do. My admiral, chain of command, said, kill them. That's it. The message should be out there. Okay, and this whole Venezuela case, didn't Maria Machado, didn't she technically win the election, Patrick? That guy's not even supposed to be in there. And he's running for his life, like you said in the beginning, sleeping in different beds. Enough is enough. Any American that is going to be threatened by your drugs, we're going to kill you. What the hell does Anderson Cooper know about war? What briefing rooms is Anderson Cooper or anybody at ABC? I have a source that's a Trump-hating congresswoman. Go in front of the camera and talk shit about the president. Enough already. Enough. He has a mandate. That's what I voted for, Pat.
What is this? What is this? Do you have the clip about Maduro sleeping in different beds and, changing phones just to make sure because he's worried for his life?
I do. I think it's...
Is this a clip or...
But I believe it's in...
Humberto, what are they saying?
Me informó de otras cosas parecidas a esta,
pero in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. See if you can have that and translate it. Tom, tell us your thoughts about the story here.
So Maduro, if he's truly sleeping in different beds, it means he is convinced. I found three stories together to be very, very funny. Maduro said, I had a peaceful and productive, I think those were the translated Spanish words, peaceful and productive phone call with President Trump. And then we hear, he's sleeping in different beds and he's using different phones. Okay, that sounds like a guy who's a little worried about sophisticated triangulation through electronic devices and is now sleeping in different places. Because if you take a look at the Israeli actions in in Beirut. They knew what room and what apartments that guys were in, and they hit that room and that apartment. You don't think Maduro knows that kind of technology is available to the entire West, and especially the U.S.?
Of course.
Of course he does. So, Pat, this is a nervous guy who is saying the right things to the camera about a phone call with Trump, but is scared to death. But he's putting up a brave, big dictator face in public. But behind closed doors, he is worried that his day could come tonight or tomorrow night. So he's moving around trying to avoid getting hit. By the way, the last bit of the movie the documentary on Pablo Escobar was doing the same thing. He was moving around, he was active, and finally he got found one morning. They identified him, and he tried to escape one safe house to another, and they shot him on the roof of the house. So you don't think Maduro's thinking that? That's what Maduro's thinking about.
Adam.
I just want to know if there was a different alternative to what's going on. So obviously we're fully supportive of drugs not pouring into our country, criminals just running around. I'm just simply wondering, are there better approaches to just blowing up drug boats? Why aren't, maritime Navy police officers rolling up and hijacking this? Like, what is there a better alternative? I'm not questioning the motive. I fully support not having these people in our country or provide drugs. I'm just simply asking a question. Is there a better approach just blowing them up out of the water?
Where they are, Adam, to send stuff out there, and it's a huge military operation. Here's the thing. Here's the deterrent.
Yeah, but
they warned you.
Military in the world,
Adam, ready for this?
Yeah.
They've been warned. Don't bring your drugs to our shores. Period. International water, and they're speeding. By the way, what fisherman's driving 100 miles an hour? Like, what are we lying? This is it, Adam. They're not playing games. They're not going to stop, pull them over, bring them here. Enough of it, because they're sending them all the time. Every day there's another boat. Every single day, because Adam, that's their money. That's their bread. It's Maduro. You know what I mean? All the nastiness that this guy's done in his freaking life, all the cartels, everything is
up
drugs.
Out of the water, and they continue to send them.
They keep sending them every day.
These people not hear, hey, buddy, what happened to
Adam,
Hector and Juan and Carlos? Yeah, they're gone.
Are you ready for this?
What about the other guys?
Look at this video, Rob. Look at this video.
Dude,
they don't even have HD. They still don't have HD, bro. You think they're sitting there? Are they not following the internet? Like all the Venezuelans, if you have, people, tell them to stop.
Okay.
And you're going to get blown up. Period, Adam. And end of story. There is no.
So are you saying that the guys who take the next mission and the third mission and the
they're
fifth mission,
listening.
They're
not
thinking,
on X.
no, they made it. It's okay. Let's go. Vámonos. Easy. Yeah, tenemos los drogas. Okay. And then they just boom.
No, I
they
think
have no idea.
No, I think that they
don't
know. I was
understand
being
the risk that's
facetious.
involved.
They know, but they're like, hey, you know what? The cartels are saying, get your ass and go. Get your ass and go, because you might make it.
So they're mules, and they're saying, listen, you're going to die one way or another. You're either going to stay in the country, we're going to kill you if you don't do this, or afuera, and you're going to go figure it out.
Yep. How about this? Don't even man them. Have a remote control boat. Well, I don't know.
Well, don't give them ideas, buddy.
Do something different, you moron.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to go to is with Turning Point USA apparently eventually responds back to Candace. Rob, if you have that clip up there, there's a video that was going viral, I think, was it yesterday or the day before, with them reacting. How long is that one, Rob?
So I have two clips. This is Blake Neff from Turning Point USA. The first one is him listing all of the different people that Candace Owens has claimed to have been involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The second clip is the invitation for Candace to join them.
Go for it. Let's see this. Charlie's murder. And by the way, can you pause it? Rob, who is he first? What senior role does he have? Is he a leader of the company? Is he a spokesperson? I've not seen him before.
I think?
I don't want to say he may be very big in the TPUSA community. I don't know.
Producer of the Charlie Kirk Show.
He is the producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. Yes. Okay, so he's involved. Go for it.
A flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for this show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She has suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. She has suggested Michael is not his real name. It is. I have seen his birth certificate myself. She has called it suspicious that Mikey's wife, who works at Turning Point, helped plan the campus tour event where Charlie was murdered, which she didn't, by the way. She doesn't work on campus events. Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual, and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed Erica Kirk around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died. She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died. She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military...
So he's going through all the claims that Candace has made about TPUSA. Okay, if the folks have seen it, you've seen it. He keeps going through it. Okay, and Rob, what's this clip?
This is a quick clip. This is 37 seconds. This is Blake inviting Candace to appear with the rest of the Charlie Kirk Show in Arizona in December.
Okay, go for it.
Candace has mentioned several times that the ball is in our court. So here's what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
Okay, so has she responded to it?
She did. This is Candace Owens. After that was offered, here she is.
Know that I cared about Charlie. Have you no shame? We're going to find out. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like I said, you can take the money. We can raise money live for this conversation. That is how badly the world is demanding it. So I accept it. With whistles and bells, everything, I fully accept. I say, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. And my only ground rule is no assassinations. Okay? No assassinations,
Okay.
no funny business. You can't pretend you're going to do it and then Candace died in a mysterious accident. Okay? We'll be right back after a quick break.
Okay, so she responds back to that. The no assassinations comment's kind of weird, but she responds back to it. What else do you have, Rob, here on what's been said?
So then Blake Neff offers the Monday, December 15th at 4 p.m. offer to Candace. This comes at 1:21 in the morning. And then I have another tweet that I'll pull up right here. This is Candace Owens then stating that the invite didn't work.
She's saying the invite didn't work?
December 15th does not work in person, and 2 p.m. Pacific time is also literally the time that I do my podcast live every day. We will happily cancel the daily podcast, and we'll join you guys virtually instead of the live stream on the 15th. If that works on your end, let's lock it in. And then I have one final tweet. This is Blake saying that the invite is no longer on the table after Candace turned down the in-person interview.
Okay, so I'm not understanding. So she says anytime, any place.
Yeah.
Then they say
Wednesday,
and
15th.
then she says yes.
She says, well, I can't do that. I'm shooting, but I could join you virtually. I can't be there in person. And then they respond with this saying, okay, well, we're no longer going to consider having you on the podcast since you can't appear in person.
And then what did she say next? Anything else outside of that?
I have not seen anything else. I believe there was a response she did last night. I'll look and see if I can find it.
Okay. All right. So, Adam, your thoughts?
Well, a lot to unpack here. So let me just understand this. She spends the last 3 months questioning everything. Her entire brand for the last 3 months has been like, what the hell's going on with Charlie? What's going on here? I have questions. I have serious questions. And when I say I have questions, you know the type of questions that I have. I mean, you know. So anytime, anywhere, any place, I'm there for it. Okay, yeah, Candace, here's the date, the time. Come on. I'm busy. You're busy. What do you have? Well, I have my podcast that day and time. Oh, you mean the podcast that you spent every single waking moment talking about Charlie Kirk, questioning everything we got going on? You're trying to tell me that you can't come on our podcast to talk about what exactly you're talking about? This doesn't add up. It's kind of like two guys are about to go to a fight. It's like, bro, meet me in the park at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock? You got it, bro. Meet you there. Okay, cool. See you then. All right. Yeah, dude, I actually had a prior engagement. Yeah, so move it. I really wish I could, man. I'm sorry. But hey, if you want me to sign in virtually, it just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah,
It's kind of like you're calling the bluff.
Okay.
Here's the biggest problem I have if you give me 30 more seconds. I don't know if you noticed over the last couple days, Candace, former friend, I'd say, has not exactly been gratuitous. She put me on the cover of a thumbnail. I don't care. I can take the heat. My biggest question comes down to one word: friendship. Is this really what friends do when someone gets murdered? Is this what your friend does? Because with friends like these, who needs enemies? So a friend, you would support the grieving wife, not question her, okay? You would help build the company that you helped create, not try to destroy it. And the worst thing of all, you're trying to dismantle Charlie's legacy when you should be trying to defend it. If Charlie is looking down from heaven, and if there's an angel out there, it could be Saint Charlie. What do you think he would be saying at Candace at this point? Thank you, Candace. Thank you for questioning my life, my wife, and my legacy. Thank you so much, great friend. So to me, that's what this comes down to.
Vinny.
Well, Rob, you find out what Tim Pool went crazy.
He dismantled her.
Like, no,
By the way, so did Nick
You have
Fuentes.
it, Rob?
I have both of those.
Rob, Pat, you want to see like what
Tim Pool?
I have a shorter version because Tim's was about 5 minutes, as was Nick Fuentes. So
You don't need to listen. Let's just listen to the first minute of Tim Pool. Go for it.
What I care about is what is true and what will help this country and what works. And she is a fucking scumbag, okay? And she's getting worse every day. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the line every day, insinuating that Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets, and at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna lose the midterms. We're gonna lose the midterms. Then we're going to lose in 2028, and it's because she's a piece of shit. Because instead of saying, guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together, she says the stupidest, retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally what reason?
So Tim is not...
Because she wants to be the main character.
Well, okay. But
that's the reason.
Can we okay, so about the situation... I think,
by the way, do you have what Nick Fuentes had to say?
Let's go ahead, Vinny, and then we'll go to Nick. Go ahead.
Well, okay, so I agree. If you're gonna want the smoke and they offer you to get the smoke, go get it. I don't get date, time, candidate. You go because she knows what she's doing. Bring your ass, sit there, and go after them. Because if you think about it, all this stuff, I am kind of weirded out though. All the stuff that she's saying, is that not libelous? Like, can you sue if what you're saying is false, actually false?
Stay tuned on the next episode.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is like I because just like the book, The Real Dr. Fauci, where Fauci didn't sue RFK and all that stuff was there. He could have sued him, but he didn't. But my thing is this, and we talked about this, guys. At the end of the day, Candace, what is her job? Her business is what?
Murder mystery.
What's the number one? You talked to me about this
exactly.
Murder, mystery, crime, true podcast. She gets how many, Robbie? 150, 60 some thousand? I'm not saying she doesn't care about Charlie, but a lot of this, I think, is like, tomorrow we're going to get this. You might see this over there. This person said this. The angle is over this. And I get it. It's people love that stuff. People love that. By the way, my favorite show, First 48. Who did it? What's happening? What's over there? Oh my God. It's a suspense thing. So at the end of the day, she's not stupid. This is a great business model for people that are like, oh my God, Pat, was it Pat? Was it Tom? So you got to give credit where credit's due. But the same token, if somebody calls you out like that, then I get it. Family, 4 kids, business, you have the podcast. But when somebody says, yo, bring it, Candace, go bring it. Go sit down with them and show them everything that you have. Bring the receipts and say that shit to their face. That's what I would do.
Okay.
No, what do you mean? How what? Go in there and go sit where you said you were going to sit.
Buddy,
sit in that chair.
Listen, she is so talented.
I know she is.
But you know she was never going to show up to Turning Point, to their face, when they have all the answers, all the receipts, and she's going to question them with what? A dream I had? Excuse me. Were you in my dream? No. So I'll never say that Candace is stupid.
What do you mean, a dream I had?
She said she's dreaming out there. She's dreaming. She's seeing visions. This is beyond just normal. This is just Candace making stuff up. Candace has graduated from talking about cultural issues and politics to doing the Nancy Grace phenomenon, murder mystery, Scooby-Doo. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids.
I'm at, I didn't like the assassination comment at the end. Throwing that in at the end, it kind of takes away from the argument she's trying to make, and that kind of disappointed me to see that. Also, if Turning Point knew the times and presented something that was intentionally blocked, on time, and they knew it, as she said, because we can all look at the schedules. She was and is normally on the air at that time. So that makes it look like, did you really want her to come, or did you present a time that maybe was a little off?
Bro, but she can postpone her show for this. Stop it.
No.
And live stream it as well.
But it's
Are you kidding me?
Look, if they want her there and they want to clear the air and they're going to present this long list.
Didn't Rob just say that she said anytime, any place?
Well, she did. And the question is, what does
anytime,
all that mean?
any place, anywhere,
and
except for
the that seemed odd. I'm not taking sides there. It does
take
seem
a side.
Odd. Tommy, hold on.
Take a side on
real
it.
question, because you know the business.
I'm so sick of people not taking sides on this.
You know the business, right? Couldn't she have? Can Candace live stream that the same
answer is
time
yes.
for her show?
The answer is yes.
Right? To
Whatever
get
the
the
hell
same viewership.
the question is, the answer
that
is
would
yes.
be 250,000.
She can do whatever
views.
she wants. She's her own boss,
right?
now.
No. To me, if Candace can take a week off during Thanksgiving, she can take a day off and go do the show.
Of course.
She can.
I want her to. I want to see
by the way,
it.
I think the world wants this to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the world wants. That's my net.
The
this
world
isn't bringing people together. There's a core of
the world wants this thing to stop. The world wants time for somebody who the world wants this to stop. The world wants this thing to be done. The world wants to move on with their lives. So if Candace wants it to be done, well, then get to the bottom of it. Does it benefit for it to be done? Then that's a question. And you got to ask that question. If it benefits to be done, great. Let's move on. They're offering for you to go there. If for the last 3 months someone's been talking about this only, what percentage of her show has been around this?
Every show.
Give me a percentage. What percentage of her shows has been on this topic?
I think every episode's been about Charlie.
Yeah, my wife listens. I think it's been about 90% of her content has been Charlie, and then there's been some other stuff mixed in there, but a lot of it has been Charlie.
Over 90%.
A little bit of Bridget Macron.
Rob, where are you at with this? Where are you at?
If you're going to say any place, any time, then you have to show up any place, any time. You can't make that declaration and then not go. On the other hand, them issuing, hey, you have 24 hours to accept our invitation, and we send that invitation at 1:21 in the morning. I've worked in radio and podcasting.
But they send the invitation, is it 1:21, like they gave her 24 hours from 1:21?
They said that she has until the end of tomorrow, the end of today to give us the answer.
Well, that's a full day, though. So it's not like they're not given a full day for her to decide.
It's not a way that you invite someone. I can't imagine. It doesn't feel like an invitation to appear on a podcast. It feels more like an invitation to a hostage negotiation. Like, we've invited people to the podcast. It's not you come now or don't come at all. That's not an invitation.
No. I respect it. I love Rob. You say the following words: any place, anywhere, anytime. That's the end of the discussion. You show up.
Well, she did say I'll come
any
tomorrow.
place, anywhere, anytime. Yeah, but except for these following dates and times.
There's
I also have a doctor's appointment. By the way, do you know where she was 2 days ago?
Dollywood was, according to reports, she was at Dollywood after the death threats had come through. I cannot find any verification of that other than people on the internet claiming that. And then she was also
at Dollywood. She was at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party. Why would I know that? After everything I said about Tucker, because turns out I got a text from, and I'll show it to you. I won't show the name. Who's in this picture? Don't say the person. Okay. Candace and someone else, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here with your friend. That's it. Whoa. I go, say hello for me. She says hi too. Really? I go, great. Merry Christmas. I said, send her my regards. Meaning I don't have beef with Candace. I have beef with what she's doing to her friend. And friends don't do this to one another. She's going to war against Charlie's wife and company and all his friends. That's like me saying, hey, PBD, thank you for everything, bro. I've known you since what year, PBD? 2012. We started the podcast 2020. God forbid anything would happen, but God forbid. Could you imagine me attacking Jen, attacking Valuetainment? That is so disgusting to me. Attacking the closest people to our leader. As if I should question ever what he has going on in his life. Hey, by the way, why would all these people, why are they around you? Why would you do valuetainment? What are these receipts? How about you shut up and respect the fact that a family, a company, a legacy is in mourning? How about that? But no, let me fuel the flames here, try to tear this down. Here's the point. There's builders in this world and there's destroyers. Both are equally talented, equally talented. Candace is a destroyer. She is so good with her words. She is so talented. She sees something, whether it's BLM, whether it's Israel, whether it's Charlie frickin' Kirk, and goes, light the match, burn it down. And she's so good at it. And we'll see how she recovers from this. But is this what a friend would do? Not on my watch, homie.
Benny.
But I mean, you have to admit, though, with the BLM and all that stuff in the George Floyd, she was right about that.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
You could be right on some things.
Of course.
And deathly wrong on another. And people are not nuanced or smart enough to be like, you know what? Candace is right on everything.
Well,
everything?
Well, again, I mean, those people are idiots because they're just blind.
But have you ever seen, this isn't wackos on the left calling out Candace. This is Tim Pool. This is Steven Crowder. Did you hear the dismantling of what Nick Fuentes had to say? I mean, if there's anybody that maybe should be aligned, it's the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace crew, Dave Smith. But here's what Nick Fuentes had to say. Do you have that? How about this?
Afraid for her life. Why was she at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party in Nashville last night? Why was she at Dollywood on Thanksgiving, the theme park? So, allegedly, the French government and the Israeli intelligence have put a hit out on you. They've paid millions of dollars to kill you, but you're walking around a theme park in your town. You're walking around, for those that don't know, Dollywood, Dollyland. It's like Dolly Parton's Disney World.
I don't even know.
You're walking around Disney World? You're walking around an amusement park in your hometown on the holiday weekend when allegedly everyone's trying to kill you? Then you go to a Christmas party with Tucker Carlson in the same city, attended by hundreds of people, and people know you're going to be there with Tucker and all the based people in one room, but you can't go to Turning Point, where everybody knows you're going to be, and if anything happened to you, God forbid, they would immediately blame Turning Point. It doesn't even make any sense.
And you know my thing.
And by the way, that was the nicest thing he had to say. Do you have the real scathing clip, by the way?
I can find that.
That was like, hey, I sent it to you on Slack, by the way.
Because at the end of
that was like, hey, let me give you some grace for a second. Nick Fuentes giving grace to Candace. But that was part A.
And here's the
I don't know if you can find part B.
And here's
when he goes nuclear on the lady.
And here's the one thing, Adam, with everything that's going on, with all the Turning Point, with all the this, all the that, at the end of the day, the official narrative of the Tyler Robinson thing isn't, I'm not buying it in that sense. Meaning, the real question we should be asking is the roof, the gun.
No, don't go there.
No, what do you mean?
We're going to get there. This isn't about the facts of the case. This is about her friendship relationship with Charlie and with her doing this.
My point is, that's what everybody should be talking about.
I agree. Cool.
George Zinn, the guy that stood up, waved the white freaking handkerchief, like, look at me, so the killer could get away. Where is that guy? Where's the guy with the pedophile phone all of a sudden? Where is, by the way, the furry,
sent you the clip, buddy.
Tyler Robinson's furry boyfriend? Whatever. That guy's been missing, Adam, for almost 2 months, 3 months, or since the shooting. He's been missing. Those are the questions. To put all this on Turning Point and say that this was a huge, that is a freaking stretch. My focus is, I hope they're trying to find out who the hell this guy is, if it was actually him, who helped him do it, who the George Zinn connection was, and if anything else. They still can't define a bullet, that magic bullet from JFK. Adam, me personally, and I know we're not going there, a bullet, there's no magic bones in anybody's body that's going to stop at 30-6. I'm sorry. That thing goes through deers, it goes through elk. Those are the questions we should be asking. That should be the main focus.
Here are more questions that Nick Fuentes has for Candace, if you don't mind.
Point says they're going to do a live stream. They're going to answer all the questions about Charlie Kirk. They invite her to show up. She says, challenge accepted. Name the time, name the place. We don't need to plan it out. Let's just do it. They say, okay, December 15th. She goes, oh, but that's a bad day for me. I can't do it then. Can I Skype in? Can I Zoom? Bitch. We can't. What are we doing here? And I said it on Telegram. You actually just have to admire the audacity.
Total audacity.
This woman has gone in every single day for 3 months, and she has dragged everybody, and like every country, the wife, the friends, the company, the government, the FBI, Israel, France, Egypt. She's dragged everybody through this, whatever you want to call it, this investigation. It's served up to her on a silver platter. All right, uncle, we give up. We're losing to disinformation and mass hysteria. You know, the open society is failing. Mass psychosis has taken hold over the nation. Fine, we'll do a live stream. We'll justify why we didn't kill our boss, and you can ask us anything you want. Just show up. And she goes, I can't that day. Honestly, what else do you have going on? This is your job. You're a YouTuber. She acts like she's a wagey, like, oh, I got to check with my boss. This is your job. This has been your obsession and crusade for 3 months.
You can pause it right
Literally,
there.
what could you have going on?
Because it sounds like Candace, respect to you. You want people knowing your name, saying your name. Bravo, you did it. I don't know if this is what you want them saying, but there's a famous phrase, don't care what you say about me, just spell my name right. Everyone's spelling your name right now. Not sure if you want this smoke, but she signed up for it.
Okay, so this is her responding. So it has been decided by the public that the best response for this is for my team to live stream your live stream and provide commentary. Since you already picked our regular podcasting time, we look forward to providing live responses to your once and for all answers. So she's going to live stream to their live stream.
Who gives a shit about another live stream to their live stream? Go show up and answer the questions,
Vinny,
or ask them the
Tom,
tough questions.
What do you think about this?
Well, here's what I think. Tim Pool, I'm on Tim Pool's page, maybe with not that kind of fire and intensity and language.
You called her a scumbag?
No. But what Tim Pool has said, you know, in the middle of all this, we're not coming together, we're getting distracted.
True.
And we have got a lot of things to do. And you look at the polling data, there was a special election that the Republicans barely won the other day, which I think should be a big blinking light on the dash of what we need to do. And at a time where all these voices can be coming together about what we need to do as a country and where we need to go and the causes that we need to take, we're in the middle of this fire. And so I'm with Vinny. Candace, if you have the receipts and everything, show up with the receipts. You said anytime, any place. Yeah, they sent something late and maybe it conflicted with that, but come together and do it. Sit down and do it. And Nick Fuentes is right. Nothing's going to happen to you at Turning Point in their building with other people. Just let's go do it. But let's get back to the focus.
PBD, there's maybe not even a Candace thing. Let me just, if you say PBD, oh, okay, yeah, anytime, any place, anywhere, you say those words. And then the other person, the debate, the challenger goes, yeah, sure, this date, this date, this date. Do you not move mountains in your world to show up anytime, any place, anywhere, whatever this case may be?
If it's something that is pure conviction, anytime, any place. And it seems like this is pure conviction for Candace. Because if this is a thing that you're coming from a place of this level of conviction, then yes, take me anywhere, anytime, any place. Provide security. You know, we would fund security for Candace. We would send our team and, you know, maybe, you know, whoever she wants, that we would fund it to say, here's security, 20 people. What is it going to cost? We'll fund it for you. Go there to feel safe. Because she's right. She needs to feel safe.
She should.
But at the same time, to me, if this is like, there's a part of me that's like, go with the Macron story, right? Go with the Macron story. Tom, what is that? Does that have to do with the story or?
No, I was just.
Oh, okay. So go with the Macron story. So with the Macron story, there's a part of it that you're interested in the Macron story, right? Yes. Where it's like, I want to know. Yes. Okay, let's keep going. I want to know what's going on, how this thing's going to end. But with the Turning Point USA guys, I don't know if you really... You realize, like, without TPUSA, Trump doesn't win. I don't know if people are, like, thinking about it that way. Forget about all this feud and oh, my God, and what's going on, and I think I'm on her side, I'm on their side, it's not she's this, she's a Scotch. Set all that stuff aside. If there's no Turning Point USA, Trump does not win in 2024.
Yep.
Perfect. If I'm the Democrats, if I'm Qatar, if I'm anybody that wants Democrats back in, dude, I have to dismantle Turning Point USA. And she's helping in that process. So now, whether she's coming from a place of, she's doing it because she's getting eyeballs. She's doing it because a dream she had with Charlie, and Charlie told her this. Whether it's because she's funded, whether it's because that's exactly what she believes. I don't care what those reasons are. Everybody has their own reasons for doing some things, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to you, and then it takes 10, 20 years to really learn the motive. It took us 4 years to realize what happened with the pipe bomber, right? The 4 or 5 years to realize.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah, to realize what's going on with the pipe bomber. We may not know what's going on here for a long time, but what we do know is the following. Turning Point USA falls. Someone is replacing those kids being fed, and then who is that? Name me the second biggest Turning Point USA organization that you trust. Name me who you trust above Turning Point USA, where the guy Charlie Kirk put it together. Then we have to make one of two things. Either Charlie Kirk was such a horrible leader that he picked people the wrong way, then we're questioning his character. Because you get judged for who you choose. Okay? And so Candace's argument is if Turning Point USA is that bad, then that's questioning his character and his wherewithal to pick the right leadership team on what to do with the company. Okay? So then if that's the direction you're going to go, I don't know. I think long-term, when you think about who's playing a positive role on the right values and principles being passed down to the kids, as a man who's got 4 kids, I would put Charlie above everybody. I don't put anybody above Charlie Kirk. I don't know if I would put Tucker or Candace or who else. None of those guys.
Nobody. They all came to his event.
Yeah, no, what he was doing is, and I'm not even saying that they're not role models or they are role models. That's not their brand. Their brand isn't grow up to be a great man, family man, all this stuff. Tucker is the one that's exposing and, interviews, and Candace is the one that's kind of like a little bit of crime and, entertainment that she does, mystery, yeah. But to me, if you're somebody that has kids, you have young boys, what organization was helping raise young boys? I would come home at night and I would see Dylan on his own watching a 2-hour debate of Charlie Kirk on pro-life, pro-choice because he wanted to learn more about it because somebody in school asked him the question. We lost that guy. He didn't curse. He didn't drop F-bombs. He didn't say anything else. He was a great example. Christian. Okay? And he was a Christian guy, family guy, go get married, have kids, make money, read books, go read the stuff on Hillsdale. He was a good, likable guy. So either he is such a horrible leader that he built a company of everybody backstabbing him. He was so oblivious and naive, which Charlie never gave me naive vibes. Or you're just, this other side is like, what? So I don't know. Because to me, I would, like, the way I see it is the following. Okay, I think Nick plays a role. Fuentes, I think Nick plays a role. Because I think Nick, to me, is Tupac. Nick's just got to stay alive. Yeah. And he's his own enemy. Nobody is a bigger enemy for Nick than Nick. And I don't think he has somebody he listens to. I don't think he has somebody he trusts that can give him that feedback. I don't think he's that guy. But I think he plays a role. I think Tucker plays a role. I think, a lot of these content creators, I think Crowder plays a role. I think, Shapiro plays a role. I know it's like, hey, yeah, I think Michael Knowles plays a role. I think Matt Walsh plays a massive role. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of these guys play a role, but none of them played as big of a role as Charlie Kirk. And for me, I would even be somebody that would sit there and say, I don't know if I agree with certain ways Erica handles herself with camera being on. And I've said that, some things with hand on the back of the head of J.D. Vance, and they just announced J.D. is going to be speaking at Turning Point USA's AmFest event, which is great. But to me, it was Kirk, #1 priority. TPUSA as an organization, #2 priority. What can we do to make sure this thing continues? And then who's running it? Who did this? Those questions are good questions. Like, we can debate who should be the replacement, the board, the face, the podcast, all of that stuff. I think those are good questions to have. And those are things we should question. Like, when the day that Charlie Kirk got killed, we were talking about what happens with TPUSA. Who's going to be the guy that's going to run it, or the gal that's going to run it? Who's going to be able to continue the legacy of what Charlie did? That was on my mind. And that's kind of like, hey, Steve Jobs died. Who's going to continue the legacy
Hard
of
to
Apple?
replace Charlie, man.
It is. There's a book called After Steve that I think everybody at TPUSA needs to read. It's called After Steve. The book is about after Steve Jobs. It's a phenomenal book for everybody at Turning Point USA to read this book. Everybody, because he was like a Steve of his space.
Of course.
So this was a book that was written probably 7 years ago. I don't know, what year did it come out? 3 years ago? 22. Phenomenal book that they got to read. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over here. And if America matters, if the future of our kids staying responsible, good citizens matter, if all of those things are important, you know, we have to highlight what organizations do that, because it's not an easy thing to do. It is very hard to build a Turning Point USA, but it's even harder to continue that company after the face of the company dies. It's very hard. You know why it's very hard? Because everybody at TPUSA right now that's working there, guess who everybody is being compared to? Who do you think? 24/7, bro.
Oh, of course.
Oh, no one's going to charge. No one's going to charge. No one's going to charge. No one's going to Charlie. And you know how sometimes, like a father, like, you know, I had Reza Pahlavi here, who I've been very critical of him the last 6 months. Mohammed Reza Pahlavi. And I sat him down the first time, and I said, you know, do you feel like there's some unnecessary pressure? Do you even want this job? And you could tell for the first time in his life on camera, he said, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. No, I don't want it. I said, maybe you don't want this job. And then later, so, no, I'm going to come in. What is the pressure of everyone? Well, you're not your father. Well, you're not your father. Well, you're not your father. Well, you're not your grandfather. Well, shut the, you know, like, you sound like, leave me the hell alone. Everybody at TPUSA right now said, well, you're not Charlie. Well, you're not Charlie. Well, you're not Charlie. No shit, Sherlock. I know I'm not Charlie. But I'm trying to do my best to continue the guy's legacy. Can you stop doing that? They have a lot of pressure on, and if I have to sit there and see who to me seems more reasonable, who to me seems more, I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. And listen, I don't want, even my own enemies, okay? Even my own enemies. I'm not intimidated by enemies to have. I'm not intimidated by people who agree or disagree. It doesn't do a lot for me. I'm not a guy that sits on X and reacts to everybody that says negative things about me. I have fun with it. Hey, Minek this. Hey, thank you for the marketing. Boom. We have a massive download day of the apps yesterday, and it's like, you know, you guys are scheduling, yeah, like right here. I cannot believe, seriously, who is paying for this? What is this, $48,000 per minute for 30 minutes? And I'm not even $48,000 for 30 minutes. It's on Minek, it's $48 per hour. But I said, thank you for promoting the Minek app. I've gotten multiple calls due to your marketing efforts. You're the best, right? We'll have fun with this because we believe Minek is a way for you to get a hold of people. And by the way, I don't know if people even know, I get paid $350,000 to $500,000 for speaking gigs. I don't want to be a speaker. I don't want to go on the tour. I don't want to go on the circuit. But we do 2-3 a year, and if it's something that we want to build a relationship, we'll entertain it. It's not something we want to do. We run in companies. But going back to it with what's going on here, if Candace is that confident with all the research and everything he has, go face off, have the conversation, finish it off. And by the way, you know what I would actually, what I would actually do if I'm TPUSA? I would actually encourage Candace to come with somebody. Like, bring someone with you. So let's just say Candace wants to bring a lawyer or another person that's in or whatever it is. Have her bring somebody else as well. Because if it's going to be team and team, and let them have the conversation. But according to what we just said right now, it's not going to be happening because she's just going to be live streaming and reacting to it.
Or they could just change the date and say, oh, okay, you want to play this game? Want to not be available? Or tell us the day you're available? We'll change our calendar. How about that? My assumption is she does not show up. Because how could she? She doesn't have the receipts.
Do you think if she says any day, anytime, TPUSA changes it, Says anytime in the next 2 weeks. You pick the time and date. You think she says yes?
What does any date,
hang on.
Hang on.
No. You didn't hear what I said.
Sure.
TPUSA goes back and says, okay, Candace, we're willing to do it anytime here in Arizona. Pick and choose in the next 2 weeks. Pick the date and the time. We'll give it to you. Do you think she says yes?
I think so.
I think
she would. Or else it's over for her. Or else people,
I think she has to, right?
At that point, they're forcing her hand.
If you give a 2-week window, that's a
If they
1,000%
say,
you have
if you
to
say
do.
anytime, anything, anywhere, and we say, all right, you pick the date, and you don't honor that, your credibility.
What do you think, Tom?
I agree with that. If they came back and they say, okay, anytime, any place, then she's got to pick it and she's got to show.
So this kind of goes into this one, something that happened to us last week. So I get a call on a Saturday. We're going to dinner. I think we're going to Eddie V's or something.
Yeah.
We're going to dinner. And I get a call from this guy named Eddie, who's a nice guy. He's coming here. I've been on a show before. He's a Muslim guy, runs a YouTube channel, good-sized YouTube channel.
Nice guy.
1 million+ subs. And bring him over to the house. We sit down. We have a conversation together. And he tells me about, his beliefs. And he meets my chef. We cook him a meal. We had a good conversation. And then all of a sudden, he says, hey, I saw Sam Shamoun on your podcast. I'm here with a guy named Uthman, if I'm saying the name correctly. He would like to come on. Since you had him on, he'd like to come on and have a conversation. I said, okay, so let me call Sam and see what I can do. So I call Sam Shamoun. Sam says, absolutely, but he says, there's no way they're going to do it. He's going to cancel if they find out I'm coming. And then he says, but why don't you tell them if Eddie and Usman are coming, let me bring a guy named Avery. I don't know who Avery is. Vinny automatically says, I know Avery.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Vinny says, I know Avery. And then this guy says this, and this is when I had to call Eddie. And then, by the way, they're like, then I get on a call. It's me, you, him, and Eddie. And when he found out it's Eddie and Avery, he's like, well, why don't we just do it me and you? And, why don't we just do it? I said, no, if you're going to have a debate, because it started off with Sam. I already called Sam. Sam already agreed. I'm going to fly him out. Let's have the conversation. No, well, I have to fly out anyways. Well, I said, if I would have changed it, you would have came. But I have to fly. Well, let's just do it another time. And then the next day, this video is played. And I call Eddie, Rob, if you want to play this clip.
Whatever PBD, whatever he is, right?
Yeah.
Let's call you out right now, right? Somebody sent this video to him. If you're honest, then bring Imran, me, anybody else, any Muslim die, and give us the same time, the same way by ourselves on your platform.
He won't do
Right. The Dean show. And me and Eddie were supposed to go on there against whoever he picks. And he backed out.
He backed out. Liar.
Of having me, because originally he was saying,
brother, I'm down.
Yeah, I got Eddie.
But then, another brother went on with Eddie, right?
Eddie didn't actually go on. 2 other brothers go on. Daniel and Jake went on. Right? But the reason originally that they didn't want me on is because they said, you cannot attack them. Like, they're going to attack you. You're just going to answer, right?
You can't. So I said, so you can pause it right there. So wait a minute. That I can't attack, you can't attack them, they can attack you. That's what he just said.
Yes.
So I don't even know who this guy is at the time. I've seen the face because I've seen the clips, but I don't know the name. So I see this video and I call Eddie. And he's like, where are you? Well, I said, listen, FaceTime.
Yes.
Who's with you?
Me
and Vinny. No problem. I said, I want to get your take on this. I said, this interview that we did with this guy, I said, he just said, oh, no, Patrick, but that was a week ago. That's not a new interview. I said, okay, great. But I want you to listen to what he said for you to know why we can never do anything together, because I don't do games. And then I played for him. When I played for Eddie, it's FaceTime. You're sitting right next to me. How long was this pause when I say, did we ever say that he can't say, go back 10 seconds, Rob, if you don't mind?
And by the way, horrible editing. Horrible
editing.
Why would you play the music
pause right
that
there,
loud?
Rob? Pause right there.
To drown out the lies.
Exactly.
Another brother went on with Eddie, right?
Eddie didn't actually go on. 2 other brothers go on. Daniel and Jake went on. Right? But the reason originally that they didn't want me on is because they said, you cannot attack them. Like, they're going to attack you. You're just going to answer.
So that's what you call a liar.
That's a liar.
Okay. When I have Eddie watch this, I said, Eddie, is that true?
And he said, no.
I said, Eddie, is that true?
No.
5 seconds he's looking
Yeah,
at
he's
me.
waiting.
He says, no, that's not true. I said, I will never have this guy on here because I don't play those games. You're going to go out and question our character that we said something like that? You're a liar. And I was willing to have him on to sit down and talk to Sam and Avery. I don't know why he's scared of Avery and Sam.
You know why?
I don't know why. I've never talked to Avery.
And I'll tell
until
you
you
right
told
now.
me about Avery.
Oh, and I'll tell you right now. Avery and Sam sitting here or sitting there again with that guy and bring a third person. Everybody will let you talk. You will be destroyed. And they're scared. And they're scared, Patrick. Petrified. Because why? If you're gonna talk the talk, bring it. If you're that knowledgeable in the Quran and the Muslim world and Islam, come and sit with two Christians, with Sam and Avery, because they know at the end of the day, they're going to destroy them. Because when you mention stuff like I mentioned about calling for non-believers to die, and they're going to come up with an excuse. Even though, and let me just say this right quick, Quran 47:4. When you meet the disbelievers in battle, strike them in the neck until you have subdued them. It's calling for violence against. I have a list, Tom. Number one, and I got into an argument with the guy on my neck when I said the Prophet Muhammad Aisha met her at 6, had sex with her at 9. How are you going to defend that? How can you?
The argument they make is, but at that time that was not considered pedophilia.
Guess what? Then why wasn't Jesus Christ doing it? Why weren't those people? Why weren't the disciples? Why weren't people there doing it? That's a horrible, horrible excuse because sleeping with a 9-year-old, I don't care what time it was, it's wrong. So going back to the point, there's no Pat. When you know you're gonna when you know you're gonna fight Mike Tyson, guess what you do? No, he lied. No, you lied.
Pull a muscle in training.
Yeah. No. They'll get destroyed because if you're so believing in your motive and your Islam and everything, then go and sit with them. And by the way, we were going to tell them, no, you can't talk. Just let the Christian guys. No, that's such a lie. And it's such a, pussy way to freaking try to be like, no, it was Pat. You would ever do that. They can argue, you can't argue. Who's going to believe that with your 1,600 views on Next? Don't play that game with us, bro. You're scared. You're petrified to sit with Sam and Avery because they know the truth and they're going to destroy you. So and you missed your opportunity.
I don't know why they shiver with Sam.
I don't get it. Is it because he knows their book inside and out?
I don't know. I don't know why they shiver with Avery. I don't know why they do.
Oh, man.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know why they do. And by the way, Mohammed Hijab responded to Sam Shimon being on the podcast, and he said, tomorrow night, Tuesday, he gave him 24 hours, and then Sam's like, I'll do the debate, but not tomorrow night. So maybe Mohammed Hijab, who's a very heavyweight, very educated guy, PhD background, very well-read, maybe he would be willing to sit down with Sam and have the conversation at a time that works for both people's calendars. We've invited him before as well, but I was very disappointed on the way he handled himself, especially when he said the word that we said, you can come. And if you believe him, the fact that we would say something like that, you deserve exactly what you're getting.
That's the point. That I wasn't there for this phone call, so I'm not even going to participate. I saw this. I believe it. I believe it. The fact that you would even preface, you have to sit there and take them arguing at you, and you just have to smile, is so antithetical to everything that you've ever done in the history of this podcast. Yeah. You believe in debate. What are our 4 core principles? Capitalism, leadership, debate, and entrepreneurship. Is that not us?
Yeah.
So don't we encourage debate? So this spewing of lies, yes, he invited me on, but I have to sit there, take it like a punching.
Who would sit?
Nobody. That's such a dumb.
Think about how
lie.
Just on its surface, how stupid is that? Hey, listen.
So
they're gonna be able to say their points, but when you talk, shut up, and we're gonna stop you because you can't fight. Who has ever said that in a debate? Or as a setup. Does that sound like any normal person would do? It's a lie.
This is a couple different stories now of what you call fake tough guys. Oh yeah, anytime, anywhere, any place. Yeah. Sorry, I'm actually busy that day.
Bring it. Bring it.
So Candace, God bless, whether it's these hijab crew, whatever they got going on, they're bluff artists. They're all bark, no bite. Oh yeah, this is the date. Yeah, dude, I actually have a doctor's appointment that day. My bad, bro. So they talk like lions, but they're paper tigers.
Let's go to the next story here, Rob. If you want to play the Ilhan Omar, Ilhan Omar says Trump supporters might attack Somalis. That's what she said here to Jake Tapper, who called her a white woman, probably. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's the practical effect on the Somali community when the president says things like that?
I mean, it creates fear. And there is a possible danger that a lot of the people who follow the president have exhibited violence in many cases, especially in my case, whenever he has said something about me that is derogatory or says I'm a threat to the country. I've gotten death threats. There's so many people that have been incarcerated over the years that have been encouraged by the president's words. And so there is fear for Somalis, not just in Minnesota, but across the country, that some of these people might attack and harm them.
Okay, Vinny, thoughts?
Well, one of the guys caught, well, first of all, I'm going to get to the part of me just not being happy with what bothers me the most about this entire Minnesota Somalian fraud terrorist, Ilhan Omar, Waltz, the mayor. Rob, if you could find that video of the mayor eating food in a restaurant with them to show how much he loves Somalis, he looks like he's going to throw up because he's playing with the food and trying to bury it. And he's like, oh, he's one of the biggest beta males bowing at George Floyd's casket, speaking and worshiping them because, in my opinion, they're ill. By the way, Pat, this is him eating at a Somalian restaurant. Does he look like he's enjoying this meal? Play this video. Look, Look at this. The other guy on the right is like, you don't know what you're eating. There's probably bugs in there. Look at this guy. Look, Pat, he's playing with it and burying it. You're not eating that,
Is
bro.
he a white guy?
He's white.
Rob, he's
a real one.
Wait,
Jacob Frey.
Is he really white?
He's white.
Yes,
white.
yes, yes,
He's not
yes,
Muslim.
yes. No,
he's a
no,
He's white, white.
Stop it.
I'm dead serious. He's the one that tried to speak Somalian to them. He panders.
Are you doing a
Jewish?
Jake Tapper thing? Or is this,
No. This is the guy from the Democratic Party up there
He has a mask in
whose
his photo.
job, Pat, is to work with the Muslim community, specifically the Somali community, and to ensure that they vote Democrat. That's his job. So what he's been doing, Pat, is out there pandering, trying to talk Somali, going to photo ops like this, eating their food at cultural events. And guess what? There are people that have worked with him and said, what we ended up with was far worse. They know about the fraud. They know about what's going on in the insurance frauds. And they're like, hey, we befriended these people. We went to get their votes and everything. And now suddenly we're implicated because we're photographed with them and we're places with them on what's going on. But that's his job. He's the Democrat operative who is like the ambassador to Somali. Go get those votes.
Okay, so let me read this and I'm going to come to you, Tom. So what did Ilhan Omar know about the billion-dollar welfare fraud case in her Minnesota district? Rob, this is a New York Post. Is this she's been asked about it?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
She's blaming the guardrails.
And they're new.
Not being set up for the $1 billion fraud that happened there. Can you wrap that around your mind, Pat? And by the way, one of the men that was caught in the feeding our future mess was a Somali restaurant owner named Abdifatah Ahmed. He ran Safari Restaurant in Minneapolis. The spot claimed that they were feeding thousands of kids every single day. The numbers were so wild, Pat. Like if it showed up, people would be stacked. Like you wouldn't be able to fit in the room. So investigators said that the restaurant pulled in millions through the program, and almost all of it was fake. The money was pushed through friends, family, shell companies, luxury purchases, and overseas accounts. And as we're finding out, to some of these terrorist groups. So if you think about it, all these people, everybody that's involved, Tom, what bothers me the most, and I know you have a lot to say about this topic, is these people, you're coming from a third world country, okay? And the fact that you're being ungrateful to the greatest country in the world that's bringing your ass here, and you don't show up, you don't speak the language, you don't assimilate, all you do is bash the country that is opening its doors to you. You bash the president, you bash the followers who are us, okay? And then you steal $1 billion, and then you're going to sit there and be like, well, you guys should have set up the guardrails. No. And listen, The old Trump was back when he's like, nope, it's garbage. They're coming from a country that doesn't have any freaking government, and you're going to come here, show some gratitude. And I said this before the podcast started. You know what, Ilhan and your whole freaking Tim Walz and all these people, if you'd shut your mouth about the president and you didn't talk all the crap that you've been talking for all these years, it might have slipped under the cracks. But you keep talking at the freaking, the beast, and guess what? The beast turns around and looks at you. And now I hope to God they have all these people that get accountable. And I have a feeling she's involved, Tim Walz is involved, and Mr. eating the bowl of whatever bugs that he was eating, he's involved.
Tom.
So Joseph Thompson is the U.S. Attorney from Minnesota, and he's been facing an uphill fight. He's been faced with obfuscation, people refusing to cooperate, but this is so widespread. And by the way, they're covering for each other. People are covering for each other.
Tom.
But it's been so widespread. Just in September, he got 8 defendants who took $400,000 each of a skim from a payout account that started at $21 million in 21 and went to $104 million in 24 based on qualifications. Now, what a qualification is kids with autism. Well, the Somali community and the ones that he found within that community were paying small amounts of money to people to enroll their kids as autistic in it. And then they set up a legal address of the clinic, but then they covered the windows with newspaper and silver foil. And there was no clinic going on in there, but they had the enrollments of actual humans, actual kids. And then they were getting an amount per kid coming in from the state and indirectly the U.S. federal government. Make sense?
Yep.
So, oh yeah, there's 400 kids in here and the money's just flowing into this address, but it's not there. And so Joseph Thompson's been fighting this uphill fight. He then got a 24-year-old defendant late this summer, $900,000 in fraud proceeds, that some of it went to the Maldives and some of it went for a $64,000 Dodge Ram pickup that he got for himself because, you know, he's stealing all this money. He needs a pickup to carry it around.
Of course. It's money's
And then Minnesota House Speaker Lisa Demuth, who is a Republican and like the last standing Republican in the Minnesota House, not federal, but Minnesota House, she said, numbers we're seeing says that this billion is just the tip of the iceberg because of all the programs that are involved. And some of these programs were not emergency stood up under COVID. They predated COVID. Yep. So Omar talking about, well, they're new programs and guardrails aren't in place. That blames the program, but what's really happening is this is systemic. This is systemic. We don't want to just wave off all Somalis in Minnesota, but there is a large number of them that are collaborating together basically as their own organized crime Somali mafia that is skimming from our federal government. And you've got this poor, U.S. attorney from Minnesota, Joseph Thompson, who's up there trying to fight it and then pointing out, we just think this is the beginning.
So they have pirates in the water that take over ships, and then they have fraudsters on land taking billions of dollars from taxpayers, and then they talk shit about the country that let their asses in, and they won't assimilate.
And it's so bad they are getting prosecutions even though they don't get witness cooperation.
Weird. And then they marry their brother. Okay, for citizenship. Got it. Okay, well, everything I need to know. That's it.
Tom, that was a very good breakdown. I'm going to try to simplify this, and maybe you guys will even find that Adam has a point here. Here's the question in mind. If there was an election and there was a binary option, this is it. This is it, guys. You have Donald Trump or you have Ilhan Omar. Your answer to that question tells us all we need to know of who you are. If you happen to choose Ilhan Omar, we got it.
Well, let me tell you who Ben Stiller picked. Can you pull up who Ben Stiller picked? Here's what Ben Stiller said. Ben Stiller, Tropic Thunder, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. What was it Jim called, Rob? The
Globo Jim.
Globo Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Here's what he had to say. Somalis are not garbage. Immigrants and refugees from anywhere are people like you and me. They should not be demonized. This country is built on the backs of people who have come from other places. It's what our country is all about. Blue heart.
Sure. Well, Ben Stiller, respect to you. Let me give you a counter argument. Not all immigrants are the same.
Nope.
Okay, not, you're Italian guy who came here to have a better life, or you're Irish immigrant, or you're Jewish immigrant that came, or even a Mexican immigrant. It's a little bit different than Somalians who come here on fraud and fake paperwork and marry whoever and then send the number one disbursements to Al-Shabaab in the world, which is a terror organization. It's a little bit different, guy. So back to my earlier argument about Donald Trump versus Ilhan Omar, the example couldn't be more stark. One is America first, one is Somalia first, legit. One is a conservative, one is a progressive Islamist. That's pretty obvious at this point. One loves capitalism, one loves socialism. Okay, one marries supermodels, one allegedly marries her brother. Good for you. One genuinely loves America, wants to make America great again. One is doing this to the benefit of Somalians. So to me, it's not even close. It's not even close. So,
and guess what? Have you been to Somalia? It is garbage. And let's be honest. How many people do you
No,
know?
but I've been to Minnesota.
I'm going on vacation. Where are you going? Somalia.
No, of course not.
And guess what? And this is what pisses me off. My mom and dad, my grandparents, his father, the whole crew, we came here the right way. We came, they all learned freaking English. It wasn't the best English, but they learned the language. They assimilated. They fit in with the community. They gave back. They paid taxes. We went to school, and we look what the byproduct is. Look what the byproduct is. You're gonna come here and take it and steal, bro, and steal and scam us, and then talk. That's what infuriates me. Have some gratitude. Oh my God!
4,000 people voted. Watch
Yeah.
this. Did Ilhan Omar know about the Minneapolis fraudulent funds?
Almost 60%.
Yes, she knew 58%. But watch the rest. Yes, she was complicit. Yes, she was involved. 4% said no.
No. Those are the Somali audience.
96% said that she knew she was complicit and she was involved.
It's almost unbelievable to even fathom that she didn't. Because think about it. Who knows the connections with the donors in this and keep you in?
What was that word?
The donors?
Donors to a campaign.
Oh,
Let's
easy,
just
Tom.
wait, baby. Just wait.
And
can I give some free, unsolicited advice to the Ilhan Omars of the world?
Yeah.
And the Rashida Tlaibs and the
Go back.
Mamdanis and like the entire Free Palestine Islamist group. This is free advice, unsolicited advice. At least fake it. At least fake that you love America. At least bring an American flag to a rally. Maybe you don't burn the American flag. Maybe you learn a little habla inglés. Maybe you fake that you love it here in
they
America.
hate it. She hates
Maybe you don't like have a rally, put on a fake hijab, put on the keffiyeh, burn the American flag. Maybe you don't like blatantly hate America. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like, you know what, guys? I think they're onto us.
Yeah.
All this death to America, death to Satan, burn the flag. Maybe we've oversold our hand here. Maybe we fake it.
Exactly.
But they can't even do that.
She could have answered that question. You know, I think you're speaking about a few people that may have manipulated a federal program, and those people need to be brought to justice. The Somalians that are in Minnesota, they appreciate the assistance they're giving at this time of their life. They appreciate it, and they should follow the program as written. And I understand what you're trying to say, but I think to and then go after it, say, to push on all the people is wrong-headed. The people that have done wrong need to face justice, but these programs are helping people that need it. That's all you have to say to fake it, to
or
your
just
point.
say, hey, listen, we are so grateful for America to take us in. We're so happy to be here. This is the greatest country in the world. We love it here. We want to assimilate. We want to be a part of this. Instead, you hear America is a white colonizer racist. It's a 1619 project. Everything about America is, it's like, then why the fuck are you staying? Go back to Somalia, homegirl.
They don't even hide the attitude of we're here. We're like Wajahat and all these people are like, what are you going to do?
We're here. We're
take your
queer.
women.
Have no fear.
And guess what? If you are in the Muslim community, and guess what? We have Muslim friends. We're not going to play that game. But you know what? What type of look is it when people? This is your opportunity. You come to America. You go to freaking Minnesota. Let's see how the Muslim community is going to treat that place. You're not speaking English. You're stealing money. You're sending it to fucking terrorists. Like what? What are you doing? And then you wonder why people are kind of scared. Like, wait a minute. These people are taking over towns. They're buying mosques in Texas. Oh, really? Look at England. Look over the pond. And they're content creators. They're peers. They can't even admit what's going on. We don't even get into the freaking Pakistani rape gangs, which it's disgusting.
By the way, there's a clip, Piers Morgan with this lady that's on this podcast. And they're going back and forth. Rob, I don't know if you have this clip or not. It gets pretty heated. I mean, it gets to the point that Piers was... said, I will never invite you back on, and blocked her, I believe, afterwards. I don't know if you heard about this or not. Yeah, he blocked her afterwards, and she posted it saying that I got blocked by him. And they had a massive, massive exchange that went back and forth. Rob, I don't know if you have the highlight. There's a...
That one above, Robbie, was a good one.
I think this is the one, Rob. Okay, I'm going to send this one to you, Rob. If you want to look at your text, this is the one to play. And right there, Rob, you have this one if you want to play this one. It's a back and forth on what's happening. And I think at the end, she just flat out is like, no, I'm not changing my position. I'm staying here. He did not like this here. So let's play this clip. Go for it, Rob.
I apologize for nothing. My statements and my actions have endured the test of time. And Piers, since you cut me off, let me finish. You've been on national television for 20 years, and during that entire time, England has only gotten more Muslim. For 20
when
years,
were you last
like
in
the
England?
boss to even say faggot or to even call out the rapist Muslims. Piers, you're not uncensored. The truth is, you have been complicit with the rape of England into its submission. It's
Really?
not only on Keir Starmer, it's also on you, on
Really?
the police and the courts that have covered up for their crimes. Absolutely. And I'll say
Really?
what everybody else is thinking. England is better off without all the Muslims. And that goes the same way to the United States. We can solve all of our problems if these Muslims are sent back to their Sharia nations, because they're not here to
Oh, really? You think
assimilate
there would be
to
no
the
problems?
American or the
You think
British.
you'd have no?
Here's- let me
You think
finish.
you?
I apologize for.
let me explain something to you. She gets extreme, but at the end of the day, is she lying about Keir Starmer and all the Pakistani rape gangs in England? But who was the Ed Sheeran sat down with what's his name, Robbie? Theo Vaughn, and he goes, "How is it in England?" He goes, "Everywhere is sketchy now. You can't go anywhere." This is Ed Sheeran saying it, and it's like, how much more lying? And I love Piers, but with all due respect, enough of this nonsense of, I love Curry and all this nonsense, okay? It's happening. The UK is finished. You guys are finished. The only beauty about this country is our First Amendment backed up by the Second Amendment. Good luck coming with that shit here. They have over 100 some Sharia courts in England. Okay, and nobody's saying that shit. So when we talk about these stories about Somalia, we try to talk about this. She is extreme, but guess what? At the end of the day, Pat, she's not wrong. If you're not coming here to assimilate, once you're the majority, let's see how that attitude changes. And don't play that, oh, no, let's talk. Let me give you my side. I don't want to hear that shit. We're a Christian nation. Our founding fathers founded this place on Christianity, and we're open to everybody. Practice what you want. I'm praying for you. And I know me and you have done this before. I pray for people to come to Christ. Everybody, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, everybody. At the end, when Jesus comes, every knee will bow. That's my message to people. I still love you. I still pray for you. I love my enemies, which is the hardest thing, Pat, for me, is forgiving people and praying that they come to Christ. It's so hard because your enemy, you want to hate your enemy. But these people, no, they're going to come in. Look at what happened in Minneapolis. Look at England. Look over the pond and tell me that they're not furious. That lady that we showed, Pat, on that phone call, crying. People are getting stabbed, walking around. It calls for them to get stabbed in the Quran, and you're going to play that. No, we're a loving. The moment they're the majority, it's a wrap. It's not going to happen here, period. I actually respect her for going on.
What's this clip, bro? Is this you want to play this clip? Because this is her continuing.
White Christian commits a heinous crime, I don't assume that every white Christian is the same. Why would you?
Piers, you can take the Muslim out of a terrorist nation, but you cannot take the terrorism out of a Muslim. And give me one example of a Christian committing a terrorist attack right now against Muslims.
Let me ask you then: when the UK and the United States illegally invaded Iraq in 2003, I waged a campaign against that. So, what would you say about that illegal invasion of a Muslim country?
Muslims are killing Christians in Nigeria, Piers.
Right. So I didn't ask you about Nigeria. I asked you about Iraq.
Iraq? Well, repeat your question again, please.
Do you agree that we illegally invaded Iraq in 2003?
I don't think she's bright enough to understand your question, Piers.
I don't think she does. I don't think she wants to understand it. But in 2003, in my opinion, illegally invaded Iraq, a sovereign country. 1 million people died. It created ISIS, which then wreaked mayhem for 2 decades, and was a stain on my country and on the Prime Minister Tony Blair, who I think should have been held up in a court of law over what happened under my name and the name of the British people. But do you care about that? Do you care that 1 million people, including hundreds of thousands of Muslims, were killed in a war in Iraq, which, in my opinion, was fought on an illegal, false pretext that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, which he didn't, it turned out?
Piers, in 2003, I was 4 years old, and I cannot change what happened back then.
No, I asked you for your
still
opinion.
stand with America,
I asked you for your
and they
opinion.
can bomb every terrorist country they
your
want. That's the
intellect has not
reality.
grown a year since
Al-Qaeda,
then.
the Taliban, ISIS,
still think
they
like
all
a
come from the
4-year-old.
Middle East. But then they're obsessed. Then they're, yes, I'm honest. I'm honest. And I am the American dream on steroids. I have worked my way to the top.
You're
I'm
not the American dream, Valentina. You're not the American dream. You're the American nightmare.
Yes,
You're somebody fomenting hatred.
Yeah, and then he continues to saying, you know, when you lose, you will never be able to come back here again in Texas. But if you win, I will bring you back on back on the show so we can talk about it. She's bold. She's fearless when she's going after these guys.
She needs to be careful.
Yeah.
She needs to be careful.
Yeah. By the way, she's very talented. She used to come on my show from time to time. We know her brother. She's very outspoken.
Who's in the
She's
National
very
Guard
loud.
now? He's serving.
Yeah. So here's the challenge that she's going to have. She can't ever backtrack on those comments. She went full scathing, full scorched earth. It is what it is. Here's my response. Because I too get some criticism. I too get some critique. I don't know if you've noticed this by the online chat. I don't know if you noticed it. But here's my position. I love Arabs. I enjoy Arab culture. I was out last night at Art Basel with my Saudi friends. I have Egyptian friends. We know one of my closest friends here is Lebanese. Okay? Persian culture, Assyrians, Chaldeans. There's Mizrahi Jews who are Arab Jews. I love the culture, the hospitality, the warmth, the food. Brother, come on in. My challenge is the Islamists. The Islamists who want to practice political Islam, Sharia law, put everybody in a hijab, shout death to America while they're living in America. That's the problem I have. So some people you have one of three options. You either say, nope, I am against these people. I am Muslim. I am against these people. This is not who we are. Okay, speak louder, please. You can kind of pretend that there's nothing going on here with this culture war or this potential conflict, let's just call it that way. Or you could just go full on death to America. But at this point, the cat's out the bag. You have to pick a side here at this point. You're either, yes, I love America, I want to be here, or you're shouting death to America, or you hate America and you want to burn America down, and they gonna find you, buddy.
All right, you got that out of your system?
I don't know, do you want to weigh in on this?
No, I think she's got a point on what she's saying, and I think she's relentless about what she believes in. I think Piers, he's been on TV for 30 years. Can you go look at the UK population 30 years ago versus today when it comes down to Muslims? What has happened from 1995 to 2025, Muslim population in UK? What has population in UK from 1995 to 2025? What has happened from 95? From 950,000 to 4 million today. 4x'd in 30 years during his time being there. And by the way, guess what? You can keep saying, I don't see an issue, I don't see anything happening here. No problem. Keep saying that. But then when it gets to the tipping point, you can't get rid of this many people off an island. UK is an island. How are you going to get rid of them? They're permanently there. There is no way of having them leave you. They're yours. And UK becomes a complete different country, and then you move to Florida. And that's what you do, okay?
Well,
you know what? I'm going to come feel safer at Florida than where I'm at.
Okay, I totally understand why someone like Piers wouldn't want completely shocking, unfounded allegations out there. I understand he's trying to narrate. But is it me? Does Piers seem kind of soft on this issue?
You think?
He seems a little, you know.
Why do you think, though?
That's my question. I'm not on
Where
Piers.
does he live?
He lives there. If he starts being honest, they're going to kill him.
He lives
Do you
there.
think that's his concern?
Adam, why else would
Do
you...
you think Piers is the type of person that is scared to say
Piers
what he
is an
really believes?
amazing human being, and guess what? He's very smart. He's not stupid.
So you're saying he's playing scared?
Adam, if you live in the middle of Harlem, you think you're going to be walking around talking shit about all the people that live in Harlem? The majority that's taking over.
It's not like Piers is walking the streets.
What do you mean?
Hanging
you think
out.
He has like 90
No,
but Adam, if somebody wants you, they're going to get you.
So you're saying that he's playing scared?
I think so.
All right,
yeah,
let me do
that
one
audience
story.
is not going to F around, bro.
CNN bets on wager platform Kalshi striking exclusive partnership to inject odds making into coverage. Rob, if you want to go to this. So Kalshi had a pretty good day. They raised $1 billion, and their valuation went to $11 billion overnight pretty much. They struck a deal with Kalshi that will inject a real-time prediction market digital, a move that stands to rewire how one of the country's largest newsrooms interprets the future. Kalshi, which bills itself as the world's largest global prediction market company, that the agreements mark its major news partnership. The company is seeking to become the most authoritative source of information about the real-time probabilities of major cultural and political future events, according to CEO and co-founder Tariq Mansour. Mansour, that newsrooms traditionally focus on explaining what has already happened is happening in the present, with Kalshi's data flowing into CNN through an interface that updates automatically. That journalists will be able to help audiences interpret what may happen more accurately in the future. Tom, your thoughts about the story?
Well, there's a big difference. First of all, congratulations to the guys at Kalshi. What a big day. There's a big difference between polling and prediction. Polling is you go out and ask people, who are you voting for? Mm-hmm. And from that poll, I try to make a prediction. Well, it looks to me with 1,100 likely voters in Tennessee that Epps has about a 4% lead, 5% lead. And what have we seen in the polling the last couple of elections? None of it's right. Atlas Intel, Rasmussen standing above the pack at the top, and then everybody else really sad shape. But what if I ask you a different question? Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? You would have said the New York Giants twice.
Obviously, against the Pats.
Right, exactly. But who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And you would have said, well, I kind of,
probably the Pats.
I'm with the, I'm blue. I'm New York Football Giants, but I think the Pats are going to win. Guess what? That has proven to be more accurate. And that's exactly what a prediction market is. And so Kalshi allows people to make these markets. They go in and they make their prediction on it, not who they're for, but who they predict. And their accuracy in the elections and in sports has been amazing. And so now Harry Enton and CNN are going to use them. Hey, what does America predict versus what does 1,000 people polling say, and what do I predict out of that poll? It's a little bit different, and it's proving to be more accurate, and you will see millions and millions of dollars because people can make a prediction $1 at a time. It's like a little ticket, I'm going to put $1 on that. That's my prediction, and if I'm right, I get something back. But that's what it's all about, and it's new, and it's proving to be very accurate from the last elections, and strong stuff.
Adam, your thoughts?
Look, Tom's obviously following this more than me. I'll just say one thing. I said 5 years ago, I don't trust pollsters. I said the only thing that I do trust is Vegas. Do you remember me saying this?
Yep.
So I've been shouting that from the rooftops because how often do the pollsters get it wrong? All the time. So now we see this Kalshi thing pop up. We've been following Polymarket for a while. The Quinnipiac, I think they do a good job. Pew does a good job, right? Real Clear Politics, all these pollster type things, ABC, Fox, they can all sort of be swayed and bought and purchased. I don't know. If you stand somebody to lose like Vegas does, then you're going to put your money where your mouth is. You're not just going to remember during the 2024 election, out of nowhere, Kamala was winning Iowa by like 15 points.
Yeah.
They're like, what? How did Trump's up 6? How? And then it turned out the Iowa Des Moines Register or whatever was, and then the lady had to step down because she got it completely wrong. So this allows,
Exactly.
I guess.
By the way, it's actually, yeah, I do. Rob, can you run a poll? Who do you trust more, pollsters or Vegas? Just a very basic poll to run. Okay.
Can I make a prediction?
I mean, I want to know what the number's going to be. I'm actually curious to know what I think it's going to be massive.
I think Vegas I think they would trust. Because Vegas is money's involved. Pollsters are just, hey, I'm a political guy and I want to make people think that it's.
So exactly what I just said. Good work.
That's what I'm exactly. I'm saying Vegas. I don't even want to look.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's Vegas 90 to 10, 87 to 13.
Good luck getting
what the poll
90
looks like.
on any sort of poll.
Well, those 14% are probably pollsters.
Well, how about we run a poll, Rob? I have a feeling we could get a 90% if I run. How many of you guys love Adam?
Go ahead. Run it.
Run a poll.
You guys better say you love Adam.
How many of you love Adam? Say yes, no, sometimes. Do yes, no, sometimes.
You don't want to do a binary answer?
No,
Okay,
you want to do binary? I'll take the
You know what? I'll
sometimes out.
take it. Whatever you want to do. You want to say yes or no?
No. I'd like.
You want to put sometimes, or you want to?
I think it should be yes,
Yes.
or no.
Just put yes and no, Rob.
Sometimes
No
he has a
sometimes.
point.
What about yes, no,
Sometimes
and 1
he has a
a.m. last
point.
night?
No, put yes and no, Rob. Just put yes and no because that's what he wants. Do you
Guys,
love that?
just cut it off after the first vote if I get a up vote.
Yeah. Yes, no. Let's see what people
By the
say
way,
here.
Pat, how much do you
Yes,
think?
Adam.
By the way,
Okay,
yeah,
hold
you'd
on,
be
let's see.
surprised. He
Let's
doesn't
see.
want to look.
Hold on.
He's-
Come on,
he's
guys.
six.
Guys,
go, baby.
Come on, guys.
Come on,
Vegas. Let's go. Roll the dice on
Let's go,
Saz.
Vegas. 1,000 votes.
50-50.
Let's go, guys.
That's what I'm talking about.
By the way,
Come on,
that
guys.
surprised
My
him.
mom's watching, guys. My mom's
in the
That
watching.
surprised him.
My mom's watching, guys.
Are you kidding? Like,
I
by the way,
love
that is the biggest shocker. Adam's going to have the greatest weekend ever.
Yes.
You guys have no idea
Come
how much
on,
you
it's
made
almost
his
at
day.
50-50. Give
I
me a
want the
vote,
pass.
guy.
I'm gonna vote right
I
now.
see you.
Hold on.
Vote for me. Tell me you love
Is
me.
that going to go? Will
Tell
it
me I'm
flip?
pretty.
Will it flip to 51? Yes.
We're gonna flip the vote. I'm telling you right now.
Hey,
You love
Adam,
me.
vote
No, it's saying 49-51.
I don't even know how to vote.
Get on the damn.
51,
I guess
49.
I don't even trust these polls. I trust Vegas.
Oh, 50-50.
It almost went 50-50
Guys, I
for a split
appreciate you.
second.
Even to the haters, I love you as
All right,
well.
Let me wrap up with one story before we finish this up with Ritz Carlton. So a couple of days ago, we have our offsite meeting at Ritz Carlton, and you guys got to realize I'm a big fan of Ritz Carlton. I can't tell you how many of our clients we've encouraged to go and hire Ritz Carlton for their standards of excellence training, and we did this year, by the way.
I loved it.
And how great was that training?
But I won a trip to the.
You won the trip?
I haven't gone yet.
Okay, but you won
What did you win?
We even ran a contest to send you to the best Ritz.
I'm going.
Which we can't tell you where, but
Yeah.
we're sending you to places.
Yeah.
You
well, let
won
me
the
tell you something.
contest.
Yeah.
It's a rigged system. I'm telling you.
One
How
of
did
the
Vince
best
Let me tell you what.
hospitality I've
How
ever-
great was the training?
I forgot the girl's name, and I'm an idiot for not remember. It was such the stories and the things that the
Yep.
Ritz Carlton does to unreasonable hospitality
Yep.
to another
That's
level.
right. Well, unfortunately, they no longer have that. So that's Horst Schultz starts Ritz Carlton in 1983. He takes the company from 1990, having 50% of retention with their employees. He increases it to 20%. People no longer quit. They love working at Ritz. The experience is incredible. 2001, he steps down. 1998, I think Marriott buys them. I think the dates are something like that. Then the next two guys that come in, another CEO comes in 2001, becomes a CEO, Simon Cooper, and he stays for 9 years. And then the next guy comes, Herv Hummler, and he stays from 2010. I think he's even a CEO till today. They call him the number 4 employee. He was a number 4 employee in 1983 when Hearst started the whole concept of service. Incredible. Well, this last week, we're doing a meeting, offsite meeting strategy session at the Ritz in Fort Lauderdale, which we have done. I love doing my meetings there, but let me tell you what happened this week. I didn't like it. So I like to host it in a meeting that I regularly hosted.
Meeting room?
I like a meeting room over there on the side on the 3rd floor that I like to go to. Anyways, so I come in the morning, and they put us in a big room, massive room. I'm thinking to myself, why are we in a massive room like this? I don't want to be in a massive room. I want the room to be close because I put sticky. Rob, you've been in the rooms before when we're doing strategy. We put all this stuff, and we go for 6, 7, 8 hours strategizing. By the way, this meeting went from 7:30 till 8:45. It was the best meeting we've ever had. It was an incredible meeting. But I walk in, and I'm in the room. Lights are down. I want a little bit of light to come in. I'm like, I didn't choose this room. He said, well, they just called us, told us we had to switch because I said, we booked this room we booked that room a month ago because we come here regularly when we're doing well, no, they just moved us to this. I said, let me talk to the manager. So I go outside to see, talk to the manager. Guy comes out, and this guy named Juan comes up, who is a fan of the podcast. He says, Pat, I told them don't move your room here. I told them you're not going to like it. I said, why they room? He says, I don't know why they moved you, but they moved you. I said, who's the manager? And this lady who was helping us out, I think a Russian lady, very nice, very sweet. I said, can I see the manager? Yeah, he's Chris. So I see Matteo speaking to Chris, so I get on the phone to talk to Chris. I'm like, Chris, what's going on over here? And he's just being very quick. Yeah, we changed the rooms. I said, yeah, but we booked that room. Yeah, but we had to change it. Yeah, but we booked the room. He said, well, there's nothing we can do about it right now because that room's already being used. So I said, we got to figure something out because I can't do a strategy session here. I'm waiting upstairs. It's 8 o'clock. The meeting starts at 8 o'clock. Anyways, I'm waiting for the guy. 10 minutes goes by. He's not coming upstairs. Nobody's coming upstairs. This is Ritz Carlton. This is the director of operation. The director of operation, let me get his name correctly on what this guy's name is. The director of operation, his name is, let me give you the exact name.
And while you're looking, this is the Ritz Carlton that had an employee that found a teddy bear that a person left and did a photo shoot and then sent it back.
That's
their
who
motto.
they used to be.
Oh.
Chris Lozano is the director of business operations at this place. So I said, I'm waiting. 11 minutes goes by. He's not upstairs. 2 minutes goes by. 13 minutes now. It doesn't come upstairs. I asked another lady. She's like, sir, I've only been here for 2 days. I said, okay, let me go downstairs. I go downstairs, and I go up to the front lobby. I want to know what's going on because I want to change the room. I said, where's Chris? He's in the back. I see an employee coming. He's talking to another lady in the back. He knows I'm at the front. So eventually, 3 minutes into it, I said, Chris, you're going to stand, wait, make me. There is no customers in line. It's just me. I said, Chris, you're going to make me stand any longer here before you come and tell me what happened here? He comes out with an attitude. I said, where's the general manager? I try to talk to the general manager. And so the general manager's not available. Then these two other guys come over. I said, guys, why did you change my room? I booked that room a month ago. This is our quarterly offsite executive meeting. I can't tell you, but we just booked. I said, who's in the room right now? He said, well, I can't tell you. I said, I'm going to the room right now. You can't go to the room. So I got Dan with me. I said, we're going to the room. I get in the elevator. We go upstairs with Mateo.
We go to that room, buddy.
They're sending securities running after me. I go to the room. Guess who's in the room?
I can't wait to hear this.
Nobody.
Stop it. What do you mean, Pat? What do you mean nobody?
Absolutely
no one's in the room.
So what are they saying the room is booked for?
So I said, so why? So the guy is not telling me anything, this guy. So then I'm like, wait a minute. This is what's going on? Yeah. So the room's not used. I said, why'd you move me? Not giving me an answer. Then the security guy is standing and keeps looking at Dan.
Yeah, because Dan will crush him.
And Dan is like standing there like a pit bull. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's just get focused. We'll go upstairs and do the meeting. They put us in a meeting right next to another meeting. There's screaming, shouting match going on right next door to us. For the first 4 hours of the meeting, all we hear is, we keep saying, can you keep it down? Nothing. We asked to lower the AC for four hours,
degrees.
6 times. Never did anything with the AC. We wanted them to increase it because it was freezing. Eventually, they're just waiting. Hey, how can we make this better? All this stuff. I'm like, no. I just got an email right now. Mateo's telling me the general manager finally responded back.
Oh, really? A week?
Finally responded back and sends an email saying, I can imagine how busy you guys have been and all this stuff with Patrick Bet-David. And we wanted to make it good, so we asked to extend a 50% discount on the room rental. In addition, I would like to personally assist you with the future events. Bullshit, Jose Torres. I don't want your discount. I'm going to pay full price, but you will never see me at Ritz Carlton ever again.
No,
and I'm telling
really?
you again, you will never see me at Ritz Carlton ever again.
PBD.
Never. And I've done so many events at this Ritz Carlton, never again. And I've promoted their standards of excellence. For years. You will never see me ever again. We'll go down the street to Four Seasons or another hotel. You cannot suddenly cancel a room and not explain why you did that.
And have nobody in the room.
You cannot. People are hosting meetings that they've been prepared for the longest time and put in a room like that. So Mateo doesn't even know I'm saying this. Pay full price. Pay them the whole thing. Let them get the money that was so important to them, because all I wanted was service and speed. And we didn't get it. And it's heartbreaking, because sometimes when the guy that created the culture that became the best brand, this company was the only company that got 2 customer service awards from the U.S. government. Ritz-Carlton's the only one that ever got this. And then you got leadership like this that forget about customer service. Very disappointing. But don't worry, Jose, whatever your name is. What was his name? That the guy, what's his name?
The GM?
Jose Torres. You didn't call me that day. You could have called me. I was in a meeting. It wasn't like you wouldn't have got a hold of me. We're going to give you the money. Don't worry about it. We don't want a discount from you. We're not looking for a discount. We want respect. That's what matters to us. And heartbreaking, because it is a brand I've been bragging. How many years have you heard me brag about? You know what book I've recommended 1 billion times? Standards of Excellence, because it's Ritz Carlton. 1 billion times, because what this Horst founder did, the amount of respect I got for this guy and the way that they build the company, the way that they would create all these amazing stories for customers that would come in here. Can you pull them out? Because I want to give him credit, Rob. Can you pull up Horst Schultz? Horst Schultz. You know what he was known for? He would personally go to offices. He would personally go and visit places. He would personally go look and talk to customers. He would personally do it. And this Jose Torres guy was too busy to give a call and come check us out and just canceled our rooms. Unfortunate. Anyways, maybe, Jose, you need to go back and read Standards of Excellence. And maybe, Jose, you need to call Horst and ask him, hey, what could I have done differently in a situation like this with a customer that's a be-back customer? Keep your be-back customers. But unfortunate, folks.
I just want to say something I've learned from you. You're the type of person, when you are treated royally and you enjoy a place, you will go back over and over and over again. Look at what you've done with Casa D'Angelo. My friend Tarek, he runs our...
There's a conspiracy thinking I own Casa D'Angelo.
He runs a massive hip-hop platform, Rolling Loud. He goes, dude, I grew up right near Casa D'Angelo. Let's have dinner. I hear people talk about it all the time. like your voice amplifies. So now Ritz Carlton, I have the date here, October 3rd, 2024. So 15 months ago, we had a company
Rob,
meeting.
were you in that training as well?
We were all it was
How
a
sick
company
was it?
wide.
Awesome.
It was phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen.
We took a day and a half off just to do training of Ritz Carlton with this consulting firm.
It was like you paid them to bring somebody here to teach their culture.
Yes.
And then they treat you like that.
Yeah.
Endless amount of money doing this. I took this picture. That's how I remember the date. It's called Fundamentals of the Customer Experience.
Yeah.
There's four pillars. This is what service, attitude, consistency, and teamwork.
Yeah.
How would you grade those four things in your experience?
Say the
Customer
first one.
experience,
Say the first one.
service, attitude, consistency, teamwork.
Well, I will give a 10 with Juan, because Juan was very good to us. The Russian lady, I'd give her a 9. She was helpless, but she was trying to help us. But I give a 0 to the management team. I give a 0 to the management team. And that's the problem. The problem isn't the people at the bottom. The problem is the leadership, how fast you move. You know, we have unhappy customers. It happens a lot when you're running a company. And the first thing I want to do is I want to talk to the client and see what it is. Because when I talk to them, I want to know if this person's being unreasonable because they just need attention, or is this person truly a customer that's a real customer that I want to be able to retain. Once I'm like, 90% of the time, we screwed up. We're like, no, we got to find a way to make this good. You know, are you sure we're good? No, we're good. You're hearing from me. I cannot believe you called me, Pat. I deal with customers because it's so important. And sometimes when we miss it, you have no idea how upset I get on myself that we missed it. I don't like it because it's not our standard. Yesterday we're doing the lead master, and one of our clients says, I cannot believe how great you treat us everywhere we go. We take so much pride in that. We don't get it 100% of the time, just like Ritz didn't here. But Ritz's mistake was you just had to come upstairs, not let the customer wait for 13 minutes. And it was at the low. It's not, Vinny, there was nobody in the front lobby when I came in, 0. So it's not a traffic season. Very disappointing.
But this is the Ritz. This
Guys,
isn't the Hilton.
You don't think the higher ups are going to find out about that?
Look,
this is the Ritz.
Whether they do or not, it's disappointing because I have a lot of history with Ritz, and you will never see me at the Fort Lauderdale Ritz ever again. Unless if somebody else was hosting an event that I'm supposed to speak or go to. But I will never, ever put an event there ever again. Extremely disappointed. Actually breaks my heart because I love going to the same place. I don't want to go to a new place. Trust me. I only like to go to the same places because trust is important to me. Respect is important to me. We sit in the same place. We like the same waiters. We tip very well. We take care of our people. Disappointing. So, Jose, you will get your money. You don't need to worry about that. And we don't want a discount. We don't need the sympathy. All we wanted was respect and service. And unfortunately, we didn't get it. Guys, to everybody else, going back to it, Christmas, hat, Merry Christmas. Get a gift for somebody, share it with them, put it on, go to work, represent, make sure everybody knows that you're not afraid or embarrassed to say the most magical words, which is Merry Christmas. God bless. Have a great weekend. We'll do it again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.